Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition. My name is Leon Jones. Welcome to another Friday night live stream. Uh, what I'm going to talk about tonight, not going to do trending topics. I know everybody's done the Pookie and Ray Ray issue. I heard enough of that. I know another trending issue that has been taking place is Tommy Sotomayor's issue. I'm not even going to get with that issue. Don't even care about that issue. What I care about are issues that I see when I get out in the real world. And also something that I did for everybody. I dropped the link. So if you want to come up there early, you can, because I don't want to be talking all night if nobody shows up. But in the meantime, while I'm here, I already got the poll up. Choose if you want to donate to the Cash App. The banner is running right across my live stream. I'm not going to beg, borrow, and steal like the Temptations used to sing. It's up to you. I'm going to keep the ball rolling. Now, what I do want to get into tonight is issues of social issues like government handouts. And I'm connecting government handouts to something I did a couple of weeks ago with help wanted signs. If you saw my thumbnail, there are a lot of help wanted signs out here. But apparently, a number of businesses aren't filling staff shortages. Also, social media. Why is there a lot of dysfunction on social media? Does dysfunction make money? I mean, YouTube is social media, Facebook is social media, Twitter is social media. Now, I'm not one that just looks at Black people's dysfunction. I see dysfunction all over social media from all races. You just have to know where to find it. Look at the trends in music, rap music. Used to hear the word bling back in the 2000s. Look at what a number of us African Americans with $1.2 trillion annually going out the door for tangible items that we're not investing or investing in. I'm talking about the stock markets. Some people talk about crypto and Bitcoin. Well, you have to know enough about that if you're going to make real money. A lot of us don't understand crypto. A lot of us understand consumerism. And also, if you are an entrepreneur, would you hire family and friends? In fact, that's the poll question tonight. And I apologize, last week I didn't get the end of the poll, and I talked about family. I talked about government. I forgot what the poll even had, but I'm not going to forget it this time. And I want you to also to check out my newer channel. I changed the name because the logo, the mind of STEM, it was going to be a copyright infringement. So I'm utilizing my own logo, and it's already trademarked. QCIS channel. It's going to have the same content. I'm going to give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math on that second channel. I put both of my links to both the channels, the 401 Talk Zone radio show and the QCIS channel, in the chat. So take time out and come like, share, and subscribe. Getting my numbers up as well. Good afternoon or good evening, Celine. Welcome to the chat. And now, going to the topic, um, I want to talk about this business of panhandling. Okay, and the reason why I want to talk about panhandling because I see it every day when I go out. And I live here in Lafayette, Indiana. Now, you would think you would see panhandling just in the urban areas. Now, there is there are homeless problems here in the United States. But how much of that do you think is real or fake? Now, I know when I lived in Maryland, I worked in Silver Spring. And if you're familiar with Silver Spring, Maryland, I used to work down there by the Noah building right off of, I believe it was 16th Street, just as you come off of Georgia Avenue in that area. And it was funny, I would see a lot of panhandlers down there. Okay. Now, these panhandlers, they looked like they were grimy and dirty, but once I stayed down there, because I was working construction inspection at that time when they were building a new station to the subway system in DC. Well, a lot of these so called panhandlers would actually have a business of panhandling. They would drive nicer cars than me, they would eat at nicer restaurants than me. And because there were a lot of government employees that worked down there at NOAA, a lot of government employees would give their money to these panhandlers. Now, again, is panhandling, which has been around for a long time, is that going to continue to be another way of making money? Now, I look at the shortage of workers today, and it does look like the employees are calling the shots. But even when you have businesses that require no education or experience at all, like a McDonald's, like some of these warehouses. I mean, I know the Democrats wanted $15 an hour, but a lot of these low skilled jobs are paying more than $15 an hour, but people refuse to work. And at the end of the day, what is really driving this belief that you don't have to work? Is it the federal government? Because I remember after the COVID, federal government was actually giving more benefits to people who were out of work as pay, and that pay was more than what out of work employees made than they had when they were working. Does that make sense? Is the government creating dependency? I mean, when you look at the unemployment numbers certainly look good, but behind those unemployment numbers, there are a number of people who wish to not go to work. Now, again, I know the pressures of going to work. I know you have to deal with coworkers, especially if you work in the office. You got to deal with bad management. You got to deal with a lot of politics. But a question that I have to ask though too, if you take your money and get your own business, who would you hire? And how can family ruin you? Now, this is the topics that I'm getting into. Nobody's really talking about this because we all love our families. But I got a question to ask you all about that. If you won the lottery, let me put a realistic number on. I'm going to say $25 million. Would you give any of your family that money? Because I know here in Indiana, we have the Indiana Hoosier Lottery. If you win it, yes, you got to go public. Now, that's a tough question. And here's why that would be a tough question for me. Because I got family members who don't contact me now when I don't have any money. So if I had money, what difference would it make? Because if I gave them money, would they still speak to me? I don't know. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because you had people like MC Hammer who helped his friends out. He had an entourage. And when you start getting entourages and you're paying a lot of people to do services that you're going to end up paying for, well, what happens is you spend a lot of money on labor. That's a big expense. Now, for me, I don't believe in hiring family and friends. I don't even want to work with family when it comes to business. I know that sounds cold, but family, for the most part, again, just as I did in a live stream 2 weeks ago, I believe it's overrated. Why do I believe it's overrated? Because a number of family members are very phony. Many family members, they have drama themselves. And if you're not part of the drama, and then you go visit family members on holidays, well, that's when you get a lot of drama going. Now, I don't care if the family members are male or female, but when it comes to hiring family members, or I'm going to take it even further, who are your friends? And this is going to connect to the next topic I'm going to talk about, social media. When it comes to friends, what is a true friend? I mean, I hear everybody say, I got all these friends out here. But if they're your true friends, what are they really doing for you? Are they checking on you? You have some friends that are jealous. And, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've always said you have to keep your circle small. It's very hard to trust people today because while you are doing well for yourself and you get somebody who's in your circle, what kind of agenda are they going to have? And you have a lot of jealous people today. And they will try to stick you for your paper, like Biggie Smalls used to say, because they don't want to work for their own paper. And I know there are a lot of jealous people out here, and that's across racial lines. Good evening, Jenny. How are you? Welcome to the chat. So, when it comes to keeping your circles small, who do you really trust? That's a tough question as well, because even if you keep your circle small, you cannot give out all your information to people. Because once you give your information out, what's going to happen? People are going to use it to their advantage. This is why I say, well, when it comes to dating, okay, watch what you say on dating sites. When you put information out, because you have people out there that are scamming. I read something, and it was about a guy who was scammed out of $500,000. $500,000. That's a $500,000 for these dating sites. And I will tell you, there's catfishing going on these dating sites. You have a lot of Nigerian scams going on. And what I'm pointing out to you is the scams. And when you give your information out, people are going to utilize it. How many of you all get scam calls every day? I mean, I've gotten them and they're asking me about Medicare, and I'm not even 60 years old yet. Close, but I'm not there. I understand, Jenny. I don't trust anyone. You sound like Tommy Jean here. I don't trust anyone except for women, especially women. And you're going to have to explain that to me. Why don't you trust women? It's very hard. You should not even look at your own family, because again, in my title, if you see it, family can ruin you. Family can ruin you because they expect you to bail them out. Well, you can do what you can do. But when it comes to myself, I don't believe in having an entourage around me trying to circle me for my success, and they think they can get a piece of my success without putting in the work. That's not going to happen. That's right, Jenny, because they're big liars and entertainers around. That's true. Now, even here on YouTube, how many people can you really trust here on YouTube? Now, for the most part, I've met people like Clue, Big Mike. I've met Brother Nate. I've talked to Brother Angry Snowman. Shout out, Brother Angry Snowman. Family can be your biggest downfall if you don't set these boundaries. Absolutely. And going outside the box here, like I said, I'm not talking about the trending issues of Pookie and Ray Ray and what happened on Fresh and Fit. I don't care about that. I care about what's going on in the real world. And what I care about, too, is the homeless scam. Now, I'm not saying there aren't homeless people, but you got a lot of peddlers making money out here, and individuals think that they're being nice donating to these peddlers, because I know when I lived in Baltimore and lived in Philadelphia, yeah, panhandlers used to try to ask me for some money. And I said, what do you need the money for? I'm not going to give you money so you can go buy yourself a fifth of Mad Dog. No, some of them want that. Some of them aren't looking to get out of their situation. Now, I'm not saying these panhandlers aren't smart, because they are, because if you're dumb enough to give them your hard-earned money while they sit out there in the cold weather and take your money, I will say this. They don't have a boss to deal with. They don't care about having a boss to deal with. But they know where the resources are coming from. Shout out, Brother Be Easy. Welcome to the chat. But what I'm preaching here is, want everybody, particularly my audience, you come in here, be cognizant of your surroundings, because for the most part, you can't trust people. What about social media? Because I'm going to be going back and forth and back between social media, family, work, because they all have a connection. Social media. It's funny that social media has really been part of people's lives. They can't wait to get on Facebook. I have a Facebook account, but I don't even go on Facebook. In fact, the only platform other than YouTube that I go to is Twitter. Jenny says, I saw a bunch of people getting dropped off in town with iPhones, and they're placed around town with sleeping bags. This is my point I'm saying. Begging, saying they're homeless when they're not. I never give money, but I give food. Well, there's nothing wrong with giving food. In fact, I used to work at McDonald's a long time ago, and what we used to do at the end of the day, all the food, and McDonald's, if they're smart, they would continue to do this. They could write it off on their taxes as a donation. Well, give some of this wasted food to the homeless, and they could feed them for a while. But you have individuals, and I've had this happen to me when I lived in Norfolk. Guy asked me, well, hey, can I borrow $10? I said, I don't have $10. I said, well, you see that 7-Eleven over there? It's a help wanted sign. Go on over there. You might be able to get $10 or more. The guy got a little attitude. But you have these types of people out there that are very disruptive. They want something for nothing. Yes, it takes a lot to be a panhandler, but I'm not willing to give up my money because you're homeless. I'm not. When you could go to work. Yes, Mr. Snowman says I'm willing to give food most times, though refuse it, which tells me everything I need to know. Also, Jenny says there are always people who will try and abuse people's kindness. That's right. Now, again, going back to the scenario that I have proposed, If I had won the lottery for $25 million, would I give any of my family some of that money? That's a hard question because, again, I have to look at what my family members are doing for me right now when I don't have that 25 million. But when I get that 25 million and they're going to be around me, I'm going to be questioning their motives. And if you don't play into their little agenda, they're going to shame you. And this is why you can't even trust your own family. Again, like Jenny says, people are always going to abuse your kindness. Welcome to the chat, brother. Be easy. Welcome to the chat.
Hey, what's up with my guy, man? What's up with Big Bro?
Hey man, I'm talking about something. You live out in Cali. You ever seen any panhandlers out there? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah, you know what
I
I'm
can't
talking about.
believe you asked me that. Have I seen panhandlers?
Oh, you know what
I
I'm talking
point you
about.
to there's a city called Oakland, California. There's a city called San Francisco, California. And man, just type in San Francisco homeless, right?
Well, let me
So
ask you something, brother.
the panhandling is, man, is
Now I'm doing this because I live in a lot smaller state than you live in, a lot smaller town, and I'm seeing it here in Lafayette, Indiana, where people are sitting up there when there's work to be had and they're begging for money. And it's cold as hell here. I mean, it's about, well, today is warm in me. It's 28 degrees here, and we just had some snow. But people, no matter what, they find time to beg. They're singing, I ain't too proud to beg, but I'm not giving up my money like that. Even the family members. You have family, right? Do you give your money to some of your family members? Because they got a little agenda on them too. And that's in my poll question too. If you had a business, would you hire family members? I know I've been hard on family members, but do you really trust some of your own family members? Let me be honest. Let's be this here. You can be honest because I'm honest. I don't trust all my family members.
man, you just put a lot out there, big bro. I don't even know where to start. So let me start it this way. So out here, I don't know how it is out there because like you said, it is a bigger area out here. So people earn more money out here. So there are more people to say that, you know what, I want to help this homeless person, right?
Right.
With the panhandling. And then as the day accumulates, they've even done news reports about it. We have what's called the BART train. It's kind of like the subway or something, East Coast. I don't know if you guys have something like that.
No,
So
well, here
there's
in Indiana, we're not even that advanced. And now, when I go back to Baltimore and DC, they got the subways. We got the bus system. So here, you don't have a car, you got to ride the bus, Gus. That's what you got to do here.
okay, so here people get on the train and then they ask for handouts on the train.
What?
Some people make signs, and the thing is, you don't necessarily question the people. There, people be on there, hey, help out a homeless veteran, of 10 years or 20 years. I've been divorced. I lost my kids. My dog died. My person died. My house burnt. I'm talking about, if you want to hear a convincing story, it ain't nobody that's gonna tell you a more convincing story than a family member that want to use some money. You go hear the most elaborate, sad. It might be a tear jerker. You might be like, God damn, I gotta wipe a tear, and then it's gonna be followed up like, hey, could I use some money?
I've actually heard that, and I love my mom, brother. Be easy, but I remember. Okay, this was these were the days I was paying child support. And I had to keep my mouth shut about that because she had, well, are you getting a rate? Because I didn't know she was going to tell the ex-wife. I mean, you got, and I'm not blaming it. This is not a gender issue, believe it or not. This is not a racial issue.
You're not biased at all.
No, but I'm just seeing too much of this out here. And look what Mr. Snowman has to say. I would give money to my mom if she needed it, but she has helped me so many times. It's unreal. I won't hire a family member for business. Well, I won't hire one either. She's fine now.
Moms can't get a job.
Oh, yeah, you got people out here. Look, Yeah,
Moms can't get a job.
you, well, no, well, you got some that don't. You got some. I believe there was somebody. I think it was SKC. He did a show today. You may have been on that panel. It was about the son husband. Well, some of these sons are sitting home with their mamas bumming around, and they're unproductive people. But this is what's going on out here. And then they're still living off of federal benefits of unemployment when there are jobs out here to be had. But uh, I got to ask, what in the world is going on with? Because I did hear about San Francisco out there. They're going crazy out here, but it's not just out there; it's here too. All these homeless people.
Oh no, it's not just out there. It's just because it's a bigger market in San Francisco. They
Woo!
just blow it up, and it's good media fodder, right? Fox News, all of these other ones. When you say that, you recognize it, right? So
Oh,
they it's kind of used as kind of a political football in that sense, but it's happening all
well,
over the country.
now, if you had, let me ask you something, and I'm going to ask certain people. And good evening, antisocial socialite. Uh, and again, Mrs. Snowman says again, her mom has helped her, but she wouldn't even hire her own mom to work for her if she had a business. Now, me,
Yikes!
you know what? I'm going to give you my real deal opinion. I wouldn't hire family either, bro.
He
I,
finna lay it all. He finna
no,
get a
no,
raw, huh?
I wouldn't. You know why? See, the problem is with family is worse than panhandlers because the moment you even,
What?
you know what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm going to say. Let's say, okay, their car breaks down or something, or, or I need to borrow 100 for gas. The moment you slip, guess what's going to happen? Oh, about a few weeks, they'll be calling you back again. And it's going to get to where if you finally say no, they're going to get an attitude.
Hmm.
And you got, I'm just
How
telling people,
crazy that is so bizarre. Hey, have you ever heard this too? When you loan someone get at a elaborate story, right? They borrow the money from you, and it don't matter what the amount is. It can be $20, it can be $100, it can be $500, and then it's just a loan. But then when you ask for it back, suddenly it get a smell to it, right? I don't give a fuck about that funky $20 or that funky 100. I'm like,
you know, there's
oh,
going to be an excuse to it though, right? Because, okay, all right, what if you're down and you go ask them for something? Oh, guess what they're going to tell you? Oh, I ain't got it. Well, it's funny. How do you know I had it?
hey, don't, but peep this. They say they don't got it, but I know you say you don't use Facebook and all of this other stuff. But then the day you decide to log on Facebook, they say they don't got it, but they making it rain. They popping bottles. It's like, bro, you said you didn't have it, and then you just took a trip to Disneyland, and they said, oh, that was some other money. No, pay your debts. You over here taking trips to Vegas,
Right.
going to Disneyland, and they saying that money was for my family, but the money I loaned you was for my family. See, they understand all of this stuff when it comes to them, but when it comes to you, it's just like, hey, it is what it is.
That's right because it's just like because I'm seeing a rash of this, and even in the workplace. Good God Almighty, that and I'm putting this out here because you go
You
into
putting
work.
it all out there.
Well, bro, man, you know, either people are walking around like zombies, or people are just that stupid. I mean, it's coming from all directions. I mean, I can maybe teach ignorant, but I can fix stupid. I mean, you you look at what everybody is doing here on YouTube, and this is why I'm not going to do it. I mean, yeah, look, I saw the video of what Tommy Sotomayor did. You know what? That was laughable to me. I don't even entertain that. I mean, that fresh. I don't even know.
Thank you for saying that, because I seen little clips here and there, and I know other people was rushing. Let me see the full clip. To me, it was clownish behavior. Now, if I was on a panel and it was planned and we were breaking it down, but for me, it actually did make me think about you when I seen that. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. When I seen that, I thought about you. You know why? Because we was talking about how that's the type of stuff that people do flock to, right? They want to see
Yeah.
that drama. They want to see that. But if I'm telling you which stock is going, crypto, NFT, any of this stuff, if I'm talking about which STEM job you should be worried about, if I'm telling you about which book will change your life, none of that sounds appealing. But dramatic stuff. It's like, oh look, there's drama between black people. A black dude called it, like, we don't even gotta say the names, right? A black dude called this girl a bitch. She attacked him or yelled at. How many times have we heard that? How
I
many
don't
times?
get- It's like, does anybody have anything? This is why I go out and see what's really going on. All right, let me ask you something. Did that really affect you? That didn't even affect me at all. Even the poo
It
poo
didn't.
ray ray stuff, that didn't reflect me at all. Because you know what? I look at them, all this educated lane, all these labels we give each other as black people. To me, it's just it's BS, bro. It's
Idiotic.
it really doesn't mean anything to me. You know what?
I've been saying that the whole time. Have you ever heard of a gentleman called named the Wall Street Trapper?
I have heard of him. Yes, yes.
Okay, look, I don't even know a lot about the dude, but what I do know is the dude was doing time in prison. He changed his life around, and now the dude is making millions.
You can do that. Yeah, you.
But but technically, by the label standards, he's a pookie. But now he's making money doing all this type of stuff. He's educated, but then he's not a lame. Like, is he an educated pookie? Is he a high value You know what I'm trying to say? You see how these labels start sounding? And then think about this. Imagine someone saying, I'm educated, and they looking down on him because he did time in a pen. And it's like, bro, I'm earning more than you. I've changed my life around. Like, that sometimes that's what I don't like about the labels, right? When you're educated, there's the negative connotation that you're lame. Some people are lame just because they're lame, not because they're educated. And then when you're
Absolutely.
a pookie, they automatically think that you're just this thuggish, roguish character. Whereas, like, actually, like we talked about it all the time, I say we all got the spirit of pookie in us. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that that's what you are. You know what I mean? And
Right,
and it's really subjective.
right.
That's why when someone uses the label, you got to break it down, like, what do you mean by it? Because usually they're attaching something to you that doesn't necessarily apply.
Right. I just dropped the link for anybody else that wants to come up. So, right. Yeah. We got so many people out here who I don't know. I don't even, brother, I don't even understand the so-called sector anymore on maybe I would always think it's me, but I'm not even one who, yeah, I got college degrees. I don't even care about those either, bro. You know why? Because at the end of the day, even at 57 years old, my biggest thing is, and I do give a shout out to some of the brothers who are actually making money from this platform. And I'm just going to say this as black men. I'm going to start with us first. Go get your own. The more I look at it, I don't care if you know how to take a shovel or something, start a construction business, have a talent. Look, work for yourself. It's yes, it's a headache, but at the end of the day, that's where it's going to end
It's
up
all
being.
a headache, though. But see, that's how we have to look at it, right? When we say this is gonna be hard. You know what's hard? Getting a six pack, bro. That's hard to do, bro. To be in the gym, but then it's also hard being out of shape. How it hurts your bones, and you just gotta pick a hard, right? All of the stuff. It's like, oh man, it's hard starting my own business, bro. It's also hard working for somebody else that don't care about you. They telling you what to do, treating you like scum. You saying, oh, my wife's sick, my kid's sick. They like, yeah, what time you coming in? Right?
They don't
That's hard.
care at
That's
all.
pretty hard. You just got to choose your hard. Life is hard.
and,
You
and,
have to choose which hard you're going to commit to,
and
which
speaking
hard you're going to overcome.
right, and speaking of, yeah, I exercise every day. I mean, I'll never have that six pack body like I can, but you know what? I'm not one of these that's got a big bloated face. I have a small, little tiny tummy at 5'8" No, I'm not the tallest one in the world, but I still exercise, know how to cook. There and if you have some of these odd jobs out here, learn how to utilize them, and you can form your own business up here. I'm trying to get people who are got the entrepreneurial spirit, but again, don't hire family. Don't even, by the way, don't even tell your family that you have your own business, because all they're going to do, they're just going to go out there and they're going to use you. I just dropped the link again. Anybody that wants to come on up, got brother Be Easy up here and work.
Hey, well, let's dig into that a little bit while we here. Okay, so you say you don't recommend hiring family.
Ooh, no.
Now, why? Now, why specifically? I'm gonna set this alley oop up for you, and you can just
Okay.
dunk it. Is it because you believe that they won't respect your authority? Is it because you believe that they won't respect what you actually built? Do you think that they will take your authority and your kindness for granted by you giving them a job in a probably a cushy position? Do you think they will demand more from you than they would from another company? So you know what I'm saying? You can just kind of
I'm gonna
expound on any of those questions.
I'm gonna answer that question. I believe they will, and they will even try to take from you, because where you see the most jealousy is in your own family. Okay. My brother had a sandwich shop and had a problem. My brother had I and also friends as well. I've seen friends, because my brother had a friend named, I forgot his name, Michael. Oh, they are no longer friends, because see, my brother decided to go get his own deli shop. He gave Michael a job, and Michael sat on his butt and didn't do his job, and my brother had to fire him, and then that just took that relationship and severed it. So no, friends and family, you got to be careful on who your friends are too. You really do. A lot of us, even on Facebook or whatever you call it, all these individuals that you don't know who are accepting your friendship, or you accept their friendship on Facebook, they're not your friends. Some of them you don't even know. Unless you actually talk to them, you don't know them. But again, shout out to the chat. I did drop the link for anybody else. I got brother Be Easy. Be Easy always glad to see him back, and glad to see everybody in the chat here on a Friday night. Again, here on this channel, when I bring up topics, um, I'm going to bring up topics that you see in the real world here. All right, got Jenny up here in the building. What's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Lima Charlie, what's going on? Just like I, just like I put the Be Easy. If you had a business, would you hire family?
Oh,
You wouldn't hire family either. Why is that? Oh, she dropped down. She'll get back on up there. But
Okay, yeah. No, I would have to agree with you on that one because I've been in a position where I did hire. Hold on, someone was messaging me.
oh,
Um, yeah, so I did hire family, and because we were family, there's a stereotypical trope that black people ain't never on time for nothing, right?
CP time.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
I know
like
what you mean.
now you think because this is my bro or my cousin or my family member, he ain't tripping because I'm like, no, I'm still running a business. Like us being family has nothing to do with anything. And then also they tried to talk about the man, but then you talk about how he got his foot on your neck, and then you come and disrespect the place that I try to build up. How am I going to build anything to surpass or just empower my community when you disrespecting me harder than you would? Like if you late to the white man's job
Hmm. Let's
30
talk.
minutes, you were late to the white man's job 30 minutes, but you late to my job an hour? Come on. I mean, that's really what they do, right? You'll go work for this person for way less, and then I'll say, look, I'll give you a little bit extra, and they like, damn, like I thought it would be more. I'm giving you more than you was even getting, and it still ain't enough. Like the demands start getting crazy. Like they'll start expecting you, like, hey, brother Leon, thanks for hiring me. Like, I want full dental, I want this, I want paid leave. I was like, you weren't even getting half of that at your other job.
Heck,
You
you didn't even earn it. They're coming in there. I mean, they're coming in there like NFL players, even if they don't produce or haven't produced, and they're asking for top. But that is the scariest thought. And then you got all these people that
everybody is LeBron James.
but they're also, and here's another thing, because I've seen it at work. People getting on social media. People people are people are getting on social media when they should be doing their work. That's a problem.
That's true. Nobody has to take my word for this, but they've done studies. They say the average, media user is 6 to 8 hours per day.
And
6 to 8 hours per day on social media, and then people talking about they don't got time, right?
yeah, they got and
A
it's not.
full-time worker works 8 hours a day. Part-time works anywhere from 3 to 6. There's your extra thing. And look, let's say you weren't on social media. Let's say, and look, okay, let's just take the lowest number, 6 hours. Let's say you cut that in half and you read for 3 hours and was on social media. Even with that, we would see such a better society. It would be so much more progression with society. Instead, everybody wants to just get on there on social media arguing. And when I say 6 to 8 hours, this is 6 to 8 hours of these Pookie and Ray Ray arguments. This is 6 to 8 hours
Uh-huh.
of
Look, I'm already drowned it out with Pookie and Ray Ray arguments. All right,
hey, every
in the
okay,
building
she's
again,
back.
we got Jenny in the building. What's going on?
Okay, what up,
What's,
Jenny B? What it
what's going
be?
on? Can you hear us? She was having some technical difficulties. She might be having technical difficulties here. But can you hear us?
I can hear you, but it's
All
going
right.
on a loop.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, welcome
Oh,
in.
if you have YouTube or anything like that playing in the background, you
Yeah, you
might
got
need to
YouTube
close.
playing.
Okay.
You got
Yeah, you
YouTube
need to
playing.
close the other windows and just only keep up the StreamYard.
Right. Because that happened to me when I was first going on Nate's show. I was always hearing this echo. And I said, well, why am I hearing the echo? And found out I had YouTube on. Clue was in the building. What's going on, bro? But no, I'm
Clue, what it do?
yes. But no, but my thing, brother B Easy, is there's so much out here that we're not aware of. And we got a lot of degenerates out here who are basically overrunning this country here, even your politicians. We got to protect ourselves, and we have to look at what's going on around us, and a lot of us don't. Now you look at YouTube. I mean, what do we really get up here? We get a lot of entertainment up here. I mean, like I said, I worked hard to build my channel up. I didn't ask for anything, and people don't want to come over here and get the good stuff. They want to do the trending topic, and I mean,
Yeah, I know exactly. And then people are like, man, come on. You're supposed to be talking about Fresh and Fit. You're supposed to be talking about Joe Rogan. I have a opinion and perspective on all of that stuff if I was asked, but I don't think that it really does assist anyone. Now, for people that's trying to capitalize monetarily, I
Okay.
understand why they're doing it. What I don't like is people that's trying to act like we're just doing this for the good of humanity, right? Like, no, you're not, because no one is learning anything new from that. It actually is, people are getting even more divided, right? With
Yeah.
that Joe Rogan stuff, it just made people even more divided. Now a bunch of people is, any black dude that's defending him is a coon, which I was like, it was really nothing to defend. I mean, I'll give my opinion on it. I didn't like what he said, but it's like, am I like, go cancel Joe Rogan, unsubscribe from Joe Rogan? And really, realistically, why is people not already. See, people always assume the negative stuff about other people, but then when it's a celebrity, they always, it's like a deity, right? They
Right.
assume the most positive things. So they're like, this celebrity said that. Why were you expecting them to be just some upstanding pillar of the community, right? It's just an average person that has a lot of money.
All right. Well, we got Jenny back. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right.
Finally. Finally.
All right. You know, we're talking. We're getting right back into the family issue because it's kind of come over to me. And Be Easy has already mentioned. I'm seeing a lot of, we call them panhandlers over here in America. They got signs out, we'll work for food, and they're begging for money. And I'm
Hmm.
finding out, well, I've already found out that some of them have more than what I have, but they don't want to go to work. You have
Yeah.
panhandlers over there that are begging for money?
We do. My mum used to be a prime target because she would give to anybody. She's one of these people, if she sees anybody, she falls for it, you know. And we actually saw this one day, this van turned up, and we seen this group of about 7 or 8 young men get out, and they all had their iPhones and these really posh phones. And then this guy got into the boot of the car and started chucking out these sleeping bags. So we assumed that maybe they were like going on a trip or something like that. And then later on about an hour or so later, we were walking around the town and we spotted these men at different points, sat in the doorways of buildings with their sleeping bags, with their little sign saying homeless, can you spare some change? And my mum's there, like, getting her purse out, like, oh, I've got to give him some. And I'm like, Mum, these are the same people we just saw being dropped off with
Mm-hmm.
phones. So she's learnt now. And I've always said that if they say, can you spare some change? I'm like, no, but if you want me to go to the shop and I will buy you a roll or I'll buy you a pie or anything like that, I said, I'd gladly do it. Or if you want a hot drink, I said, come with me and I'll buy you a hot drink. And
Right.
about
Yeah.
85% of the time, they'll just say, no, it doesn't matter. And I'm
What's
like,
going on,
well,
Brad?
you
Welcome to
know,
the chat. Yeah. Now, I would always say this, and be easy. You live near a big city. You give them some money. What are they gonna buy with that money? I
This
mean,
is
I
the
don't.
homeless haven out here. Just look it
Oh,
up. This is the, yeah, this is the hobo sanctuary. Yeah, well, now they also have. Do you guys have like EBT and welfare and all this stuff, right?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
you
yeah,
got
they
that too?
changed. Yeah, they changed the laws. Before was you didn't have to buy it. They didn't allow you to buy any hot food with it. But
Oh,
since there was so many homeless, now they have Burger King, McDonald's, all of those. A lot of these places they take EBT. So you could, some of these homeless people, they're eating pretty good, and then they're getting these other handouts, and then it's a community, right? It's a hobo society. So if a bunch of them are getting foods and benefits, now there are some that are just like totally zonked out of their mind, just strung out for drugs. I'm thinking like, how does they keep getting money to afford like they're getting money from the state a lot too, and panhandling, depending on where you're at, panhandling could be lucrative because like I said, there's a lot of people that want to do their good deed for the day.
Hmm.
So then, it's like, you know what? I've been sinning all my life. It's freezing cold, like where you're at. Man, here, I'm going to give them 10. I'm going to give them 20, or I'll give them 5. It may only be 5. It may only be $1, but collectively, It adds up. And if they
Mhm.
have another hobo society, they could all pitch in and build a tent, sleep by each other. So, it's, oh, and then this is another thing too. They had it on the board, they had it on the news too. Some would even have their kids, they actually wouldn't even be homeless. They would be panhandling as a
Yeah,
side hustle. So they'll bring their newborn kid out and say, "Oh, we're homeless." And you're like, "Damn, there's
we've
this
seen
Wow.
little
that. We've
baby."
seen that in London.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's a little tiny baby. For reals, it does make you get a little, you get a little sensitive and you're
Yeah.
like, you know what? I was gonna spend $10 on McDonald's anyways. Here you go. And
So
that
you,
happens all day. Imagine, imagine the social media time, 6 to 8 hours, right? They're doing that for 6 to 8 hours. And then they go home. Some of them already have jobs. It's a state even followed one, and one was hopping in a Mercedes Benz driving.
no
Don't you
lie, I saw that. It's a huge
don't
hustle. It's a huge
don't you
hustle.
think that a lot of people now don't even have to go out to beg? They've got YouTube. They will sit and plead poverty on live streams just to get cash donations. And a lot of young girls do that more than anything. I mean, obviously, you've got OnlyFans where they're,
That's but
yeah, but it is another a form of begging.
I mean, I'm
Yes,
saying
I call it virtual hoeing, or you can call
Hmm.
it
right.
you. I mean, that's
It's
literally
true.
what it
It's
is.
prostitution.
Digital.
I mean, it is
That's what I'm
prostitution.
saying.
Yeah, it is.
Hoeing, yes, is digital solicitation, digital hooking. That's all it is. And it's like, no, no, I'm having fans, I'm having supporters. How is that any different from a trick or a client? It's
It
the
isn't.
same thing. It's the solicitation of
Hmm.
services. So it's just a bit of semantics on words to not really admit to what it
Hmm.
actually is. And
Yeah.
so that you can kind of skirt, like legal ramifications of it. But I
Now
mean, we
you
already
said
know what
fast food. You said fast food accepts. I don't know too much about EBT. I know there were old food stamps. Mr. Snowman says fast food should not accept EBT. I agree with that. I mean,
do they do it out there where you're at?
you know what? I don't know. Maybe Angry Snowman. He's been studying the Indiana law more than I have.
It will probably be coming soon. If it happens in Cali, New
Oh,
York, they start sprinkling it all over the places.
what
Coming back to like businesses giving out food. I work in a local supermarket. It's only a small one. It's
right?
not one of the big major ones, but we're actually forbidden by law to give food away at the end of the day. Even we've got loads. I mean, we do waste every night. We could have 6 or 7 loaves of bread. We could have fresh fresh produce, like what's going to waste. We have to bag it up and throw it in the bin. We cannot leave it out or give it
Well,
to
that'd be a nice,
anybody outside.
be a nice donation and tax write off if you were allowed to do that.
Yeah, but we actually,
But that's all by design, right? If they were as really moralistic as they say, they have you sign a waiver for everything, right?
mhm,
They these businesses and the government, that they know about contracts, they know about waivers. No homeless person is lining up to sue them saying that I got sick, right?
yeah,
Because
Right.
all they would have to do is take a toxicology report and see that not only did they eat the bread out the dumpster, but they took some fentanyl too, right? So like, which one are we gonna think? So I agree with what Jenny said. They make it so it's saying, look, we just don't want any legal ramifications.
mhm.
What if they get sick?
We
Well,
can put them
they
in a
tell you
bit.
to
We
throw
can
it
put
in the
it in a bin, and then
Well,
say to them, "Help yourself." But
you
we
yeah,
know,
just can't
that
physically say, "Here, help
right.
yourself."
Well, I
I
do
was
have.
gonna say that's what happens anyways. They get it out the dumpster
Mm,
anyways.
yeah,
That's what I'm
They
yeah.
saying. They're gonna go. Oh, you know why? See, when they get it out of the dumpster, I mean,
there's no liability.
right.
Mhm.
And here in Indiana, gas stations. Thank you, Mrs. Snowman. They accept EBT, but fast food hasn't. And the Clue, thank you, brother Clue. I thought you couldn't get hot food with EBT. Hey,
That
BE just
that's
threw it in
that's what I'm trying to tell you, Clue. They started out here, like I said, it's a homeless haven out here. So due to the many homeless people being able to, um, they're not able to go into like Whole Foods or something, get food and then prepare it. Right? They have no home to prepare it. So in order to basically cater and further assist them, they said, "Hey, why don't you guys just get your food at McDonald's? You don't need a home to eat McDonald's, right? You can eat it in the restaurant, you can be walking down the street." So now all and not only this, the companies that accept it get financial incentives.
hmm
So 7-Eleven, I don't know if you guys have them there, right?
No.
The government will say,
We have a
okay,
few. They're kind of sprinkling back. They bought Speedway, so
oh, Speedways, or is that like a franchise that they have multiple ones all over?
yeah, speed like when I lived on the East Coast, we had Wawas, and since when I moved out here to the Midwest, we have speedways and marathons, and I don't know what they have over there where Jenny lives, but
Yeah, Jenny, do you have one? Because 7-Eleven, it sounds like it doesn't have it there. It's just like a convenience store. It never closes. Christmas, any day, pick a day, it never closes. Most of
Well,
them are owned by
never close.
I
Arabic
was just
people.
about to say ours shuts at 10 o'clock. If our bosses had their way, they are Sri Lankan and they will open if they have the chance, but you have to get a special license to open all through the night, which is very, very rarely you'll get it. But they will open Christmas Day. They don't get us to work it because they know we just point blank refuse. But
Mhm.
they will work every hour of every day if given the chance.
Right.
Yes, and yeah, that's what they do out here. So the government, they give them subsidies, say, hey, if you take this EBT, we'll give you this tax write-off, kickback, or whatever. Same thing with McDonald's or any other company. And they also have programs like that that hire felons too, right? So they
Mm,
can pay the felons maybe like $2, $5 an hour, and the government foots the other part of the bill. So there are some companies, like you said, 411, people don't want to work and people are like, oh, I got a felony. There are a bunch of places now that will hire felons because the
Mm-hmm.
government will foot the bill and they
Yeah.
basically are paying you like $2 an
Mm-hmm.
hour.
Just for the record, it doesn't matter how hungry or homeless I was. I'd never eat at McDonald's.
Oh,
I
that's
have,
nice.
snap, Jenny.
I have standards, low
Oh, damn,
standards,
Jenny.
but I have them.
Jenny, do they have a bunch of fast food places or where you're at?
We have McDonald's, KFC,
Mm,
Wendy's. Is it Five Guys? Which
Five
Five Guys,
Guys. Mhm.
they're
sounds
expensive.
like some kind of porno something. I've never
Probably where
eaten
they got
it.
their name.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't do. To be honest, I don't do fast food. Very
right.
rarely do fast food, but
Now, now Mr.
McDonald's,
Snowman
no.
says EBT which is true, varies from state to state. So businesses being allowed to donate food, some states allow businesses to donate food and get a tax break. Others don't. I don't believe my state of Indiana does that.
Okay, wow. Okay. So yeah,
And
they
yes,
they they do out here.
more and more felons are being hired. And uh, thank you,
Yeah,
Clue.
she's right. That's an unequivocal fact. She does hate McDonald's,
Yeah, I
but
do.
she hates fast food in general, right, Jenny?
I like KFC, um, Burger
Oh,
King,
wow,
because
we had a whole big discussion about that. Do you guys have
yeah,
Popeyes out there
we
or just
have
KFC?
we have Popeyes, but
You
Clue
like
took me
KFC
to
over Popeyes?
yeah, Clue took me
Okay.
to I think it was Burger King when I came
Burger
over.
King.
Yeah, and I loved it because I'm not a flashy person. I don't like hairs and graces. I'm more of a give me a picnic basket and a field. I'm well away without go for a long country walk kind of thing. So when we walked past, he said, "Should we get something to eat?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Where would you like to go?" And I'm like, Burger King is there. Let's go
Burger.
there. So as long as it wasn't McDonald's, I was fine. So no, I don't mind fast food, but it has to
Well, I think
be,
fast food, in my opinion, is a bit expensive. I mean,
yeah.
I'm
A
not.
bit.
I mean, I've never ever paid $20 for some nuggets, and
But
I've never.
your portions are a lot different to ours because we have a Burger King here, and if you go in and order just a basic burger, it comes out little tiny thing like this. When we went to the one in America, it was massive. It could have fed a family of 4.
Oh, the
And I
Whopper,
and I
the
was
Whopper.
like, yeah, but even the Whoppers here are not Whoppers in
What?
that comparison. But yeah, your food portions are a hell of a lot bigger than ours.
But but it's just funny that the homeless population and antisocial said it better. Well, said it just like us. It has become a hustle, and I
Hmm.
saw not. It was yesterday. This guy
A
was out there.
lucrative hustle.
Yeah, this guy was out there with his dog. I'm like, what are you doing with your dog out here begging? Your dog out there. I mean,
Hey, bro, don't get me started on
oh,
the
Don't.
dogs, bro.
I always feel
There's San
sorry for the dogs.
Francisco and there's Berkeley, California. The homeless people out there, I'm telling you, their dogs are nice. They got like pit bulls, Frenchies,
Hmm.
like name whatever popular dog. I'm like, how the hell does he have this nice ass dog?
Yeah,
And then
I,
people out here, they love dogs, so they kind of will donate, right? If they see you sitting there with your
yeah.
dog, I'm
Been
not gonna
there,
lie.
done that. Been there, done
I
that.
Yeah,
you know,
he will do it.
I will target the ones who've got dogs. I will
I
ignore
actually
the
saw.
person, but
I was in
go for the dog.
Indianapolis, and I actually saw some homeless person with an iPhone. I'm like, well, get an iPhone. I
No, I
can't even
know,
afford an iPhone.
I
They
know.
have their iPhone and that Obama phone because they had those free phones that they gave out. Everybody calls them Obama phone, but I don't even know what the purpose of those phones really was outside of some government project to
Well,
be tapping people.
that's what it is. With people, they'll take anything that they think is free. Free is not always good, and
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
no,
Very true.
we actually live in a land of people who are sheeples. I call them sheeples. They follow the crowd and they don't know what's going on. It's just like when we mentioned feminism. How many women really know what feminism really is? They really don't. They hear other women talk about it and they hop on board instead of thinking
I
for
don't.
themselves.
There's so many different branches of it.
That's that's what I
It's
was
hard
saying.
to keep up with it.
The actual definition of what it used to stand for, maybe some men could get behind, but now they're saying second wave, fifth wave, 10th
Hmm.
wave. So it's just like the Bible. How many different versions of the Bible are there? Like I thought it was one Bible. Now they have 60 some odd versions, right? Just
Yeah,
like feminism, there's 100 definitions,
yeah.
and you ask 10 people what the definition is, you get 30 answers.
Right. Now, Mr. Snowman says the fact is, while panhandlers are annoying, and which they are, you can't you can't completely hate them. They're doing it because people are continuing to give them money. If people stop, the numbers would plummet, and that's the way I feel about what do you call it? Somebody mentioned it, OnlyFans, or
Hmm.
if people would stop donating, the numbers would drop. So I
Hmm.
don't just blame the homeless. I blame the people who are giving it to them as well. That's why I don't complain when I hear a number of individuals talk about, well, all these guys are donating to these females channels out there and they're doing better than we. Well, if you stop donating, it's common sense.
Hmm.
You stop
Yeah.
donating, it doesn't. You don't have to worry about it. Cortez says feminism is a religion. Facts. Yeah.
Do you have the big issue? Is that a thing over there?
What's that?
It's a magazine what real, true homeless people will sell on. Its big issue is like an homeless charity. So instead of going begging, you go out there and you sell this magazine, which represents the homeless community, and it tells you things about how they're helping them get bank accounts, how they're helping them get CVs, to get their jobs and things like that. and for every one they sell, they get a percentage of the money. And that's what they tell us now. If you're going to give to an homeless person, then give to a big issue seller, because they are putting back into the pot. They're doing something. So if they're not selling the big issue, then they tell you not to donate.
Well, another big scam out here is religion. That's another hustle too. Just everybody goes to church.
That's the biggest hustle globally.
I did a video on that a few weeks ago, and
religion is the biggest con.
I'm not saying I don't believe in God, but you're telling me I got to pay 10% of my money for tithes?
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing until I started. Me and Clue were friends with a couple of ladies who were gospel singers, successful ones, and we used to go into their chats, and they had a program called The Elephant in the Upper Room, which Clue named.
Right.
And they would talk about things what church folk would not like to talk about. And they were talking the one day, and they kept on about, and I thought they said tides. And I'm like, what they keep on about tides? I don't know what they're on about. And they said to me, you have to pay a percentage. And I said, since when? I said, I was brought up in a church-run school. I went to Sunday school. I went to this church-run school. We've been brought up in the Church of England rules. Not once have I ever heard the term that you had to pay your way.
Go to church.
And I'm like, no, we don't do that here. We want to put bums on seats. You know what I mean? We're not interested. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
Conservatives, shout out to him. That's because God is notoriously bad at money. That's funny, but he is right about that. I mean, especially in the African American community. I mean, be easy. You live in California. How many tomorrow is Sunday here, and we're going to see a lot of African American, particularly women. They're going to go to church and spend their money. And the biggest day coming up is probably at the end of March or early April, called Easter. African American women are going to be in there with the big fruit buckets on their head, throwing a lot of money out.
It's
honestly, that's the biggest
showbiz.
That's the biggest form of indoctrination, is with the religion. I do believe people should believe in something, whether it's God or something. You should believe in something bigger than you, something that transcends you. That's up to you to determine whether you want it to be God or not. But the way religion is used as a tool to just be divisive and distracting. That's literally all it is. When they have these candidates, they always try to bring up how his Christian roots and things like that. Like, no, that has nothing to do with how he's going to be governing. But they do that to pull the wool over your eyes. So, oh, he's a Christian and I'm a Christian, even though I haven't been living my life like one. So maybe I should just vote for him simply because that. What's the first thing that politicians do in the black community? Run to the black church, throw hundreds of thousands at the black church to whip up votes. They do it in the other. Why did Trump get Mike Pence? Because they said Mike Pence was beloved in the evangelical community. Like, huh? So could we get someone that's qualified, but you're getting them, because of optics? Back to religion. It's always like that.
But just so you know, Jenny, we do have from Clue, and shout out to Clue, we do have black and white churches.
Didn't know. I did not know that was a thing.
Which is the biggest hypocrisy. That's the biggest indictment on religion, right? Listen to this. We're all, in God's eyes, we're all his children. Exactly. And then I go like, oh, damn, there's a black church, a white church, a Mexican church, and an Asian church. They're all segregated. Y'all can't even agree on what, quote unquote, Jesus looks like. You say that he was born in the Middle East, yet you highly tout this pale blue-eyed guy. Like, I mean, it just blows my mind.
We don't have that here. we have mixed churches. We have young, old, black, white, yellow, pink, purple spots. Everybody is welcome in one church. I
As it should be.
personally don't believe that you should have to attend church to be religious.
All right.
There's more to church than four walls and a roof.
All right.
You
Well,
know,
the
so
church never was supposed to be an institution,
Right.
right? That's the man-made and social construct. The church is the people. Right now, technically, this couldn't be construed as holding church because it's about us as people. Just when it became the institution, that's where all of the capitalism and profiteering came in.
Shout out to my boy Free Zone Lou in the building. My poll question is up. Should you hire friends and family if you have a business? I've got a total of 12 votes right now, and it's split 50-50. Let's keep on going because me, I'm not voting. Unfortunately, I can't be the voter since I put the poll up. It would be biased, but I know where my vote is going anyway. But
Now, I wouldn't be biased. You should vote. It will be
well, then,
representative. It will be
well,
a representative sample.
we
I
when we were on about churches, um, we had it was in the early 90s. We had an evangelical church open near us. That was a total culture shock, full stop, because they invited the church we used to go to. And I say go to, like I said, our church was connected to the school. So we grew up in that church. A lot of the school activities took part in that church. So we ended up going there after we left school. So they invited us to prove that there was nothing to be feared. I don't know why they thought that, but you know. And I am one of these people, and I'll hold my hand up to it. If you say, do not laugh, do not ever say that to me. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Do not ever tell me not to laugh because I will be the first to do it. And so they all looked at me because they always say, Ginny cannot be serious. And I'm like, I can be serious. Just don't tell me to be serious. So we go into this church and they start singing. And I'm like, okay, I quite like this. It's, you know. And then they started with the happy clapping, as we put it. And I'm like, okay, I could put up with this. You know, this ain't too bad.
I know where this is going.
Then we started with the people getting up and doing their dancing. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You know, sit down, love. You're not twerking by me. You know.
The pastor was saying? You
Yeah,
hear the pastor
they
say?
were all they were all up, they were all clapping and they had the tambourines out and I'm like, this is such a culture shock. And then but the thing what freaked me out, and my brothers could not get me out of there quick enough, was when they started talking in tongue. I
Oh,
thought it was something out of an Exorcist film or something. I'm like, oh my, what? I thought she was having a conversation with somebody by the side of me. And I'm like, how rude when somebody's giving a sermon and you're having a chat to somebody. And I'm like, but she sat on her own. This is weird. I can't do this. So my brothers are like, you know, come on out, come on out. But there is such a big difference between the churches in America and then the churches what we've grown up in. Church of England, as we call it. There are Catholic churches and things like that, but
you got them here too. There's some big now. Okay, the reason for tonight's stream is there are a lot of scams going out there, and I'm just trying to point them out. And I don't know if you have them over there, Jenny. I know Be Easy probably has had them. They're called robot calls. You know, you get these strange people calling your phone number all the time, and you get them. You got them over,
yeah, I've been in
and that's
so
another.
many accidents. Apparently, I've
Oh,
got
when if you ever, since all of these companies work together to sell your information,
Yes,
and a lot of them say they don't, and then they have it in the fine print that you have to go to HR and say, "Hey, don't sell my information." But by then, who
it's
knows to how many companies it's been disseminated, and then they can just pop up with another robotic algorithm with your information. So I know if you apply for any insurance, health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, you're done because they say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, we need to get quotes, right, from different companies." So as soon as you enter your email,
Yeah,
it to so
I
many
made
other
that
entities.
mistake. I
Yeah,
made that
I've
We
made
mistake.
it
all
too.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, I've made it, and now it says scam. At least it says scam likely. At least they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get a little bit better with the call. And they do have apps, but you have to pay for it, where it will tell if this call is a robotic call.
Right.
And now you can get, there's an app called Text Now, and there's other apps like WhatsApp where you can just have a digital phone number that you can keep changing, and all you need is a Wi-Fi, so you can be making calls from your computer
And
and
and uh,
everything. And once
and
you
and,
block that number, you can just generate another number
and
and
beware
call it.
beware too. And shout out to Clue extended car warranties. Mrs. Snowman, she had one today, and I get them all the time. And I try to call a number back, and they say the number was out of service. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually called the number back yesterday, and I actually talked to him. I said, these scammers are giving your number out about real estate, and he didn't even know that. I said, you need to watch it because it's and what they want you to do. They want you to give out your credit card information, and I've had to cuss them out, and they've called, told me Gene about some Medicaid or Medicare. I mean, they are. I mean, it used to be there was a clause here where the government would say, well, uh, you can't make those calls, but it's more of them happening. I'm gonna tell you now, tax time is here in America, and there are going to be a hell of a lot of scam calls coming in saying, "Well, you're delinquent with tax money, or we can help you get something for your tax return." And there are actually people who fall for these scams out here. So I'm trying to make everybody aware. Hey, you go on out there, it's a big scam out there. Um, and do a search for unsaved numbers. That's right.
Mm. And it
But
is. I mean, there are people who are quite vulnerable, and they do fall for it, especially the elderly.
yeah, oh yeah,
My mum's always getting things on her phone, and she's like, "Oh, I've got to tax this, and I've got to do this," and I'm like, "Mum, you
also
don't."
also what you guys got to do. I always they'll send you text messages.
Hmm.
They've sent me stuff about my house. I said I don't even own the house. Check your email. Even check your spam in your email. This is what nobody on YouTube is talking about. They talk about this stuff, but this is actually security
Or
stuff.
sometimes they send
Yeah.
as if it's a government site, but when you look at the email, it's routing you to a different email, but they'll
Hmm.
use like a government letterhead. And I don't know if you guys ever got this one. This is like a funny trope, but it used to be this Nigerian prince, or or someone going around from like Africa, always saying, "Hey, you won this money. Just
Yeah.
put your bank account, and we're going to deposit it." That was a scam that was going around years.
Oh
People would
yeah.
give They would
Yes.
give their account and routing number because they thinking they won money, and then
Hmm.
they would just get all of their funds extracted, and it was overseas. And I mean, nothing you can do in US but say sorry.
And they'll tell you
My
also about your computer. We all got computers. They'll say, "Well, your computer needs." I said, "No, my computer doesn't need to be fixed at all." And a lot of scams going on. OnlyFans. If people are paying it, that's up to them. But I'm just telling everybody, just beware of what's going on around you. Stop worrying about what's going on YouTube. Worry about what's going on around you that's
hmm.
affecting us economically, turning us poor when we don't have to be poor. So, and watch your phones on, watch social security numbers. I mean, a lot of us give those out. I hate giving mine out. If I didn't have to give it out, I wouldn't even give it out.
Well,
Even
I keep getting a call. It happens at least twice a month, saying that
mm,
it's supposedly from the Inland Revenue, saying that there's been a problem with my national insurance number. Somebody's tried
mhm.
to use it. Can you confirm this? Can you confirm that? But it's come from a mobile phone. Nobody has my mobile phone number. I've got 6 contacts on my mobile phone. If I have to inquire about any other things what require you to have an email or a phone number, I use a different phone. So all that kind of crap stays on that phone. My phone is for my personal use, and I still get it where it is say, can you click on this link to confirm that, it is you using your national insurance number? And I'm like, I'm not stupid. You know what I
And shut up.
mean?
Yeah,
But like I said, there are people who will think it's genuine because you're seeing the revenue. But
right.
you're like, they would not be ringing you. They send letters. The Inland Revenue do not contact you by phone. They will
Fake FBI.
always do it by post.
Well, here we get fake FBI warnings like we don't pay a debt. And I called one called me and I said, we're not a debtor's prison. So you can't do anything. And you are basically imitating an FBI agent. That's federal. You can't do that either, but they do it. And yeah, gift cards. They will send the cops. Yep.
Wow.
Well, man, well, this is what you get.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, individuals will tell you about debt collection companies. This is why I say when you have a debt and it's met the statute of limitations. I had a debt. They called me for some company. I said, "Are you licensed?" I always ask those questions. Are you licensed to do business in my state? And if you're not, then we don't have anything to talk about. And I said, well, what's the debt on? I said, well, the debt is owed anyway. Statute of limitations is reached. You can make an attempt to collect the money, but you're not going to get the money.
Yeah, that's a big business right there because essentially most people, well, I'm not going to say most people, but a significant amount of people don't even know their credit score. And if you don't know your credit score, that's mean because you know it's bad, right? You know what I mean? So,
I have
but
no
one of
idea
those
what mine
reasons,
is.
yeah, but
Credit's
well,
a scam too, be honest with
it definitely is a scam. Now, I do understand, there are some valid arguments that you can make, but ultimately it was designed there to be, to be a scam and to kind of like force you to be in debt. Like the American dream is debt, right? Get a house that you can't afford that you're supposed to pay back in 30 years. That's 30 years of debt. Get a car that you really can't afford, interest, student loans, it pretty much all revolves around that. You know what I mean?
you. Go to college.
Debt.
Yeah. I dropped the link. Brother Clue says, when I was in Texas, I laughed at him. Texas only allows child support to garnish wages, and we ain't been fucking so goodbye.
Oh yeah, but what I
Yeah,
wanted to say with the debt thing, that like you said, there is a statute of limitations. I believe it's
absolutely.
7 years and then it drops off. But what some do is they they try to get you to admit to the debt, and then when they're calling you all the time and saying, "Hey, what's your name and what's your address and social, and do you remember you had this debt?" And because they always say these calls are being recorded, and once they get you on there admitting to the debt, now the statutes of the limitations, it doesn't matter. Now you just admitted to it. So now it was 7 years. Now you got another 7 years that they're going to
Well,
be reporting it on
on your
your
credit.
credit.
Now,
Correct.
when it comes to actual debts, each state is different. Now, when I was in Pennsylvania, like for any type of debt, whether it was oral or it was 4 years. In Maryland, it was 3 years. Here in Indiana, it's 6 years. Now, again, yeah, you don't want to admit anything because once you admit it, that's when they got you and they're going to really put it on your credit report. And then you have to go through Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to get it off your credit report, and that can be hard. But I always tell anybody, I mean, if you're having problems with debt collectors, write them a cease and desist letter. I don't know how it is over there in England, Jenny, but here they're only allowed to call you between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Yeah,
And if they
yeah.
violate that, you can actually sue them. It's against the the these I forgot the Fair Credit Act or something like that. But these are scams because I worked at a collection agency And the reason why some of these collection companies want to collect that debt is because it's almost collecting debt is commission for some of these companies. You get a base salary, plus you get a commission for each debt you collect.
They buy them for pennies on the dollar.
Absolutely.
So even if you settle well below the price, then it's a profit. Because this is the thing, most people don't know, like the companies that you said, which is, this is outlandish for you not to know, Experience, Equifax, TransUnion. In America, you're entitled to 3 free credit reports a year. People don't
Yep.
even get one.
They
You don't
don't.
have to do them all at the same time. You can do TransUnion for, the first part of the year, then Equifax, and then they have Credit Karma, which is a good app too. And then also, if you have a card, most credit cards should provide credit monitoring on there. If you have things on there that you could dispute too. So if you dispute something that you owe, the company has to prove that you owe the debt. And
Right.
sometimes they've even lost the paperwork, so you might owe it, but they may have to overturn it because they can't prove that you owe it, right? Once you dispute it, it's not about you just owing it. They have to prove that you owe it. And then when you see that it's been charged off or something, that means they've already gotten credit. They charge
Right.
it off to the government. They've gotten credit for the debt. So anything that they collect after that is just profit for them. So you can negotiate a bit, because once you've already got sent to collections, it won't really matter whether it says paid in full or worked
No,
out a
it doesn't.
partial agreement, just
But
as long as you pay it.
you want to know what else happens? And this is why I tell people, check your credit report. If you see the same debt, like say if you had $100 debt and it's got a list of collection companies on your credit report, you know what happened? That debt has gone from one debt collector to another for the same amount of money. And it looks like you have multiple debts, but you don't. You only have one debt. And some of these collection companies, they buy other collection companies' debts as well. Now, I went through that myself. I had to go to court for one. Shout out to Lawrence. Welcome to the 401 Talk Zone radio show. Yes. Good evening. But yeah, I'm just trying to make people aware of all these scams out here that are going on, and many of us just aren't caring about. We're not. I mean, things are already high, but I mean, and look out for some of these credit cards, high interest credit cards out here too. They'll charge you, or you can go get a credit card. Let's say when you see that they're charging you an annual fee on that credit card, don't even get that credit card. Oh yeah, you can get this credit card, but it's going to cost you $99 every year. So you got to pay that every year. So let's say they give you $500 worth of credit. Well, they're going to charge you that $99 first. You got to pay that. You don't get the full $500 worth of credit. But yet they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. That's right, Clue, the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 97. And this is what I'm trying to make people aware of, because we're losing a lot of money to all these scams out here because many of us just don't know. And because we don't know, a lot of us are ignorant out here. We are. And once your money is gone, if you don't have a revolving door of income coming in, you lose that money. And that means you got to work harder to gain it back.
Well, the biggest scam is.
Go ahead.
I was just
you
going to
can
say,
go, Jenny.
especially if they think that they're going to get something. It's easy to con somebody if they think they're going to get something for free. If you've got somebody contacts you and says, do this, do that, and you can get this free for 6 months and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I've got to have that because it's free. The magic word is free, but it's not free. You're paying for it for the rest of your life, really, because once you get scammed, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just hate to see people around this time. And another place, another area where you get scammed is right around the holidays. You get scammed too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we don't make people aware of it. And I even look at it myself. That's why when people call me, I'm saying, hey, okay, what's this in reference to? They always try to say, well, are you this? I say, yeah, I'm this person. But But if you don't know the laws out here, um, you're in trouble. And that's the thing. I mean, it's your money. They can't dictate to you what you do with your money. We're not a debtor's prison.
Hey, even when they asking, is this that person? May I ask who's calling and what this is in regards to?
Mm-hmm.
And let them identify themselves because they're calling you, right? So
That's
by
true.
them calling you, they're already assuming that I'm calling Leon or Jenny, right? So
Right.
they already know who it is that they're calling. I know that this is Jenny. Okay, cool. You know that this is me, but who are you? And then they start stuttering and all this stuff. All right, cool. We got nothing
Yeah.
to talk about. We have, you're trying to confirm if I am who you think it is, but I have no idea who you are. What business are you? Oh, you're a business. They should have a business license. They should have a
Absolutely.
website. I could look this up right now while we're on the phone. If you're unwilling to give me this, why would I
Yeah.
even confirm that this is Jenny or Leon?
Mm.
And when you get those scam calls, you call them up and they start asking you a bunch of questions. Then you when you go deep about it, then they hang up the phone. Then they hang up.
Yeah, they will hang up on you so quick. I was talking, I looked, I was like, oh, they hung up. It got too real.
And you ever get them where they call you and they don't even leave a voice message? I bet that happens. I mean, they're finding all types of ways, and I'm gonna tell you something too. They know what we're buying. They know what we look on the internet. This is that intrusion out there, and you have a
Oh,
lot of companies.
speaking of intrusion, they'll do this too. They'll say you owe a police debt or a ticket
I've
or
had that.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I've
had
had
that.
that. And they'll call and they'll say this is officer such and such. Did make sure that you can make your payment payable too. And you be like that. And sometimes I've actually, I know you said Leon, people be falling for it. I had someone fall for it because they said, oh, I did need to pay this ticket. And then
Hmm.
Right.
they paid it, but it went to someone else's pocket. It didn't go to the police department.
In the
There's all
building, we got Trey in the building. What's going on? Go ahead,
there's
Oh
Jenny.
shit.
also there is also
Trey
a
Day.
scam where they will ring you, let it ring for so long, and then hang up, and then you ring that number to see who it is. But the moment you ring that number, you get charged something like five. Well, it'd be
Yeah,
about £5 here. I don't know what the thing is there, about ten
probably about
dollars. I
two
don't know.
fifty here, two
Yeah,
seventy five here.
um, and there's nothing you can do about it. The moment you connect to their line, the money will get taken straight out of your phone accounts, regardless.
Yeah.
So
Well, we got Trey in the building. What's going on, brother Trey?
Hey, what's going on, man? How's
Hey
everybody
man, long
doing?
time, man. I tried to get you up here last time, man. We talking about all kinds of scams that go on, man. And you gotta let me know when you're streaming too, bro, so I can support your stream, bro.
Man, I was down for a week, man. They had me in the real gulag for a week, man.
Uh-oh.
I was talking about kids, rebelling against masks, and they hit me.
Oh, that's why you hadn't. Oh, ooh. Yeah, see, that's another
Yeah.
thing that. And we talking about scams here, bro. Some stuff that
Oh,
you in Texas, man. You see the panhandlers down there where you are, man? Because I've been seeing a lot of them, man. And Be Easy told me he's seen them too, and Jenny V, she's seen them. Man, these individuals are begging for money, and they're driving BMW. Some of them.
yeah, Houston, man. It was big in Houston. I mean, where I lived at on the southwest side, unfortunately, everybody had their corner. And bro, they be out there battling for those corners. And I see them every day, and I do the math in my head. And I'm like, man, these dudes probably clear about 200 or 300 a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tax free.
And that's more than a lot of people are making on their job, bro. And like you said, tax free. So that makes it even more.
Man, they making real money out there.
And they coming now because
EBT too. Do y'all got EBT out there, Trey?
Yeah, SNAP benefits.
is that what they call it out there?
Do they
SNAP.
allow you to get hot food like at McDonald's or places like that?
I don't know, man. you know that, but because I remember they offered it when before we were married, Mrs. MED, when she got in her accident, they offered it to her because she couldn't work. You know, she was on that temporary disability. And I just remember like grocery store stuff because that's when we had first started dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I didn't want to use it. I was like, man, I ain't doing it. She's like, it's just like a credit card. You just go swipe it. I felt embarrassed, you know, like use it for it. I'd be like, no, I'll just pay for it for myself. And she was like, no. She's like, it's what they gave it to her for what it was intended for. You know, she worked in the hospital and she couldn't work. You know, she paid into all her unemployment. So they gave her the unemployment plus the benefits. She didn't even ask for it. So I'd be embarrassed to use it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming up there, working guy. They looking at me, man. Why he got this SNAP card?
Yeah. Well, you know,
they thought you was the scammer because that actually is a scam too. Because people that make a lot of money, you can go apply for the EBT card, but of course you got to say that I'm homeless or I'm not making enough money, and they're not going to always, you know, if you look homeless, they're not going to go check and see, you know, where you work at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I would just say, you know, I was her caregiver, and you know, like that, and like she couldn't, you know, get to the store, and they'd be like, okay, you know, yeah, because I mean, really, we met through her brother. Me and her brother were stationed together, and I was like, yeah, I'm out here doing it, you know, helping her out. We're like, oh, okay.
But yeah, like I said, because even Tommy Jean, somebody called her about her daughter being in an accident or being in jail or something. They wanted her to pay $5,000. A scam coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Trey.
And you know what they do, man? They like to target old people. You know, they hit them with the Amazon. Amazon's the worst, man. And Apple, Amazon and Apple.
Amazon
they get me all the time. They
hit you up. They hit you up easy.
Well, yeah, they said someone has logged into your Apple ID, and then it's like a phishing site where it says, here, log into your account. And once you do, if you do that, they have your information. And the same thing with Amazon. It says, hey, someone logged in your account, please confirm it here. And if they're able to get your account, then they can get your address and the credit card and bank account on file. So it's just a way to get your information.
Now check and see if they spam that because they've been hitting me for PayPal like somebody has gotten into my
I've had no end of PayPal.
You know, look at the email. Look at the email. That'll tell you something different. If it's not a .com or I'm like, nah, this is because they're going after a lot of people. Something else that's a scam, you guys. You ever heard of a pyramid scam? You know, like Amway and
is that like a Ponzi scheme?
Well, no, like MLM. And, you know, I mean, I was in a big time MLM. And
I was in Amway one time. I made some money.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
Hey, they're trying to revamp it. So MLM, instead of that, they're calling it network marketing now.
Yeah, that's what it was, man, when I did it, man. I was big, you know, in Ambit. I went over there when I was doing Airbnbs in Japan. I helped them start up Ambit in Japan. I went over there. I was working for the CEO of the company, billionaire, man. I'm walking around the streets of Tokyo with a billionaire, and the guy working under him between us, it was a millionaire dude from Houston. And man, I was just sitting up, man. I got so much knowledge from those two just walking around the streets. And the guy, the billionaire, he blew up with the telecom when telecom deregulated. That's how he blew up. So, you know, I mean, they put me, you know, they gave me the rundown on everything that was a scam, which ones to stay out of. Like the tea and travel industry. Tea and travel MLMs. They the biggest scamming jokers right there.
Well, Clue just got hit. He got hit 10 years ago on his PayPal account, but there are a lot of them. The scam calls, the churches. What else is a scam? Oh, credit cards are a scam. And,
especially with the credit cards. That's what I meant to say earlier. Don't be going above your means. You gotta pay it off pay that off every month. Otherwise, if you can't do it, then you probably shouldn't be spending on that. People it's supposed to be there for emergencies and to build up, but people go get a TV or something they can't afford. And then I actually got caught into that. And then I went and looked at my bill, and like you said, 411, they hitting you with the annual rate and interest charges. If you don't pay I was looking like, wow, the interest was what, $5 this month, $7 that month. I was like, damn, like that's extra on top of you paying to use the card.
I'm gonna tell you what else is a scam and nobody wants to talk about it. A bank. And here's why a bank is a scam. I don't have a bank. I deal with Navy Federal Credit Union. I had a bank. You know what a bank does? Well, I know when I had Sovereign Bank and M&T Bank. Well, if I didn't have a certain amount of money in my bank account, they would charge me $50. You talking about a big scam right there? So I would have to keep at least a minimum of $200 in the bank. And if I fell below that, well, they're they're taking my money from me. And only a bank, even if you're a millionaire, you're going to have to put money in different banks because they only insure you up to $250,000 anyway.
And their interest rates on savings is nothing. Like a high interest rate is still 0.0 something, right? Even if you not and I never was taught about stocks, knew anything much about it, but even some of the most basic stocks, yearly dividends pay like triple that. You know what I mean? And then the banks go try to deposit 50,000 in the bank, turn around tomorrow and say, you know what? I need all 50 back. They're gonna say, we gotta call the manager and we gotta like, hold on.
Yeah. Shout out
Give
to
me my
Clue.
50K.
Shout out to Clue again. A bank is a scam. Crypto reveals this. Yeah, but you want to know something? Credit card companies want you to be late on your credit cards. Why? Because every time you're late and you go over the limit, you're paying a fee.
Yep. That was a big, like I said, if you don't pay on time and pay it off in full, so you get hit with the interest, and the late fee minimum is $25 to $35.
That's a
Crazy.
It's bad. I don't have credit cards. I'm one of these people, if I can't afford to pay on the cash there and then, I won't have anything on credit.
I'm with the business and all, I'm always up there having to, use the credit cards, but I don't use the personal ones just for business. The business ones make sense. Personal, oh man, only if it's like last resort. My biggest expense is these crazy fuel cards out here in this fleet industry, man, with gas. Let's go branded, diesel and gas right now.
Yeah. I say I didn't have anything on credit. I was married and he put everything in my name.
Oh.
So when he left, I was left with the bills. And it took me about 3.5 years to pay. I mean, they weren't big debts, but there were so many little ones. And I had to find a job because the money they were going to give me, because I'm a caregiver for my mum, just was not enough. I could not even, it was going for the point where I wouldn't eat for days because I couldn't afford to eat. Simple as that. It was pay the bills or eat. And I'm like, right, I could skip. If I get a loaf of bread, I can have toast for a few days. I'm quite, so once I got all these bills cleared, I'm like, that's it now. If I cannot pay cash for something, I will not have a bill coming in every month for it. So that's the reason I said that.
And another thing I always tell people to do, you want to avoid all these scams, I'm just going to say, watch who you give your information out to, because there's some dummy websites out here. And then also, I don't know if you get them. I get all kinds of stuff in the mail. Oh, they're going to give me $1,000 loans. I'm like, nah, I'm not taking those loans. Nah.
It's the young ones.
Just look at those interest
that.
rates. Don't look at the loan amount. Look at the interest rate amount. How much you're going to have to pay back.
Yeah. That's how they get the young ones, because the young ones, they want the latest up-to-date cars. They want this. They want the flash hi-fi systems or TVs. So they see adverts like this. And it's those who are the ones who get caught because they know they want the best.
I remember.
Go ahead, brother. Be easy.
I went down to when I was younger. I went down to buy a car. It was a Cadillac car. It was sweet. It was about $7,000, and I didn't fully have $7,000. It was a little bit more. I think like closer to 8. And I had about like 6 grand. And I went to the dealership and I said, could I just drop 6 grand on here? And, I'll make the payments for the other two. And he said, look, I'm gonna tell you something that no other dealer would pay. He's like, no dealer would take this deal because they're not gonna make any money off of it. He said, if you pay 6 grand right now, you can pay the other two off in one lump sum from maybe your tax return or something like that.
That's
He wanted to
true.
put me in a car that was like 30 or 40,000 so it can get interest on it. And like Jenny was saying, a lot of the young kids will be like, I don't want a Cadillac that's 5 years, 10 years old. I don't want the car that's 10 years old, and they'll get the newest one, can't afford it. And these companies, especially the dealerships, they're making commission on it. They want you, and even that $30,000 car is not 30,000 after the interest rates and taxes.
No, and I know Trey has to deal with it with well, warranties. I mean, he's got trucks and everything, but the warranties can be a scam too. Now, they'll tell you five years of 50,000 miles, and then you have to buy another extended warranty. So you could be paying $2,000 for an extended warranty, but by the time that car reaches peak,
I always wondered if people get their bang for their buck out of car warranties.
you know what?
Seriously,
I'm going to tell you all this, and me and my dad were talking about this. My dad told me a car was a bad investment. He did.
it's not an investment; it's a liability. It depreciates. If you buy a car, go hit a U-turn and say, "I changed my mind." 25% is already shaved off in the first year. 40% now is like depreciation value, and it doesn't matter the car. So it's technically a liability more than anything.
Then if it breaks
Yeah,
down,
tell you the only ones that really are big to me, man, are the semi ones. You get that 500,000 mile, and that's the key with the semis, man. You gotta run it up because the semi gonna take some work, but 500,000. That's why you always see these used semis right around like 460, 400, 388 on the miles because the big companies they get rid of them trucks, before that warranty's up.
hey, now Trey, how much did you pay for your trucks? You got semis?
Yeah, I got 2 semis, bro.
How much? How much? Wow. How much? Where do you park them?
Oh man, I live out in the cut, man, and there's parking like right up the street from me. Truck parking.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was wondering
about a mile from me. But yeah,
Trey,
they park there. But
Trey, you live in the boondocks.
no, man, I live outside San Antonio in the cut, man. I ain't living nowhere near the city. I'm crazy inside the loop, man. But yeah, it's been, it's good. I mean, they got the 2 semis, the vans, and the box truck. So I mean, it's good. But I'm trying to move to all semis.
Hey, so I know you said about 400,000 is when they sell it. How long should someone that's taking good maintenance, how long do those cars usually go for? Because I've seen some in a rare occasion, trucks get up to like 1,000,000 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at 1,000,000, that's when the engine's got to be rebuilt. And I mean, you just got to keep it up, keep that maintenance up. And
So you think you can
yeah.
easily get about 600,000 out of it?
No, I mean, you could. I mean, these trucks go up to 2 million. And normally what happens, man, they take these trucks, once they get over 1,000,000, then they sell them to like, cats down in Mexico. They'll take them down to Mexico, redo them, and they'll put them on the road down there.
Wow. Well, I mean, but it's so much. Like I went in the grocery store yesterday. I don't know if you all are feeling it. Some of the shelves are still empty out there too. You guys feeling that?
Well, out here, California actually supplies like 75% of the agriculture. So they got the shelves is full. The thing is, them prices is,
Are they going
let's
up?
go, Brandon.
How about you over there, Jenny? How the grocery prices there?
The prices are going up,
Oh wow.
but I think most of the items are available, but the shops are actually keeping the stock in the back.
Oh.
Because we've had a case of our bosses. We had a shipment of it was canned goods, and it's very popular. I can't remember offhand what it was. And it was running very low, and people kept asking for it. And he kept saying, we're going to try and get it. We can't get it because of the deliveries and blah, blah, blah. We had a shipment come in, quite a big shipment of it. And the boss, I said, shall I put it out? And they said, no, put it round the back. So we put it round the back, and the shelf stayed empty for about a week and a half. So people kept asking for it. And I kept saying, well, should I bring some out and put it out? And they kept saying, no, you wait. And then when they put it out, eventually, they put it out with the higher price. And we sold more in that week because people were waiting for it and were willing to pay the extra money than what we would have done if we'd have put it out as soon as we got it. So that's what a lot of the supermarkets are doing. They've got the stock, but they're withholding it.
A lot of scam.
Yeah, I was going to say they're doing it because while inflation is at a high, there has been a report. There's some stores, or they're like, you never let a crisis go to waste, right? So they're saying, oh, look, we could just hold back, and then we have to raise our prices because inflation. Even though they still have the same profit margin, now they're increasing it by withholding goods and increasing the demand for it as well. And it's almost a sense of hoarding it too.
That's great. Yeah, you got to watch some of this food, especially if it goes beyond its expiration date here too. And Brother Clue, I was assigned this truck when it had 45 miles on it. Now it has 211 or 21K now. Let me put my glass on. 21,000 miles now.
I know. Wow. I was just about to do the same.
He's got a brand new truck for the most part. But
he's always got to have the best.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks, Trey, for coming up on the panel. I'll catch you later, bro. Yeah, but I tell you, we got to watch out for everything up here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
It's the same as the toilet rolls. We had this big thing about toilet rolls not so long back, and we had this big delivery came in after people had been waiting for it, and I noticed on the invoice that they actually paid less for it than what they normally do.
Facts.
But then they charged twice as much once it went out, and I'm like, so you are profiting on both ways. You've got the goods cheaper, and you're still going to charge people more. So,
and that's what I was saying about, there a lot of them are using the guise of inflation and saying, look, we have to do it, when there have been cases where in most cases they're getting it at the same price or lower. But they know that people are going to buy it regardless. And just the whole thing back during the height of the pandemic, or appropriately scamdemic, at the height of that, suddenly everybody wanted to get tissue, right? So if you needed like 20 cases of tissue then, why don't you need it now, right? Because you didn't even need it then. And if masks don't protect you, what the hell was tissue going to do to protect you against an extremely contagious and deadly virus? I never got that. I mean, Jenny, 411, were y'all getting extra tissue during the night?
No. And again, what people really don't know is, okay, when they go and buy something, they don't look at the quality of what they're buying. Also, meat. Beef is going up. Chicken is going up. Everything.
Bro, don't even try to get a pack of bacon. It's like $8, bro.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But it's bacon. Come on. Everybody loves bacon.
I know, right? No, and look, you're right, Jenny. It's kind of sells out still, even
it does. We forget the bread and the toilet roll. Let's just make sure we got some bacon.
All right. Celine says Black Christians and white churches do church differently.
But they shouldn't. In all fairness, they shouldn't. If you
worship in one God,
and it is supposed to be designed in your own image.
Oh,
So
no, you're right. Now there's something else that's a scam out here too. Some of these dating sites out here.
don't get me started, please.
All
Well,
of the dating
some of the
sites are scams. But the thing is, it's mainly
they are.
the
Listen,
people on there. It's
and
mainly the
some of
people
the
on there.
and what I learned about them, if it used to be where they used to make men pay, if there was no picture up there, what they would try to do if you weren't getting any mail or sending anything out, they would send these fake profiles to you, and you know what you would do? You would pay. You would pay for them, and then at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you're not getting anything. And a lot of them, and that's why I tell some people, stay off those dating sites because you don't know what you're getting on these dating sites.
You don't know
And
what you're paying for, and you don't even know. See, a lot of people just fall in with words and pictures on there, and then and then you say, you know what? Hey, Jenny, let's video chat, and then suddenly that person
Yeah.
deletes or blocks you. Now you're
Well,
blocked.
I could tell you about my ex and how he got catfished and ended our marriage of 24 years, where he got catfished by a woman who was a friend of mine. I say friend, it was on the internet, it was in a group. She had this one photo, and everybody in that group knew it was photoshopped. You could just tell.
a lot of them
And
are.
yeah, so she friended me, and we chatted for, I don't know, a good year or so. And my husband at the time didn't have Facebook or nothing, but he liked keeping marine fish. So I
Right.
suggested he set up a Facebook page and he could access sites what dealt with marine fish and things like that. So he did. He didn't have no friends. And
Mm.
so she said to me she said, "Is that your husband?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Can I send him a friend's request?" And I said, "Of course you can." I mean, he was disabled, so, he weren't going far. So I said, "Yes, you can." And the first thing I said to him was, because he said she's very pretty. And I'm like, it's photoshopped.
Yeah, it is.
You need to wake up. It's photoshopped. And it went on for a while where they'd be chatting. I never had an issue with it. It's one of them things, let them chat.
But they are. Now
And,
shut up.
it's so easy to get catfished because you have filters, you have weaves, wigs, makeup, false eyelashes, body stockings. At the end of the day, the woman you go to bed with isn't the same woman you're going to end up
And
waking up with.
a lot of them got a lot of issues out here. Let me get to the chat here. Brother Mel in the building. Dating sites are used to target men to juice them out of money they don't charge women. That's fact. Brother Clue. The match group got sued for sending bots to flirt with men to get them to upgrade to premium. Facts. I just mentioned that. Clue again. I benefited from the catfish.
Yeah, he did. In the
And
long run.
Clue, you lucky some of us.
Celine, church again. I'm talking about the structure of the church services. White churches, everyone is all uptight, and black churches,
That is
everyone
true.
seems more
That is true.
liberal, leaning with all the single moms. That's a fact. And she also says, I wish churches had matchmakers. Well, they're supposed to, but
They
at the
do,
end,
but you got to fork out some big bucks,
yeah,
right? They're not doing it for morality,
Why do you
kindness
need
purposes.
matchmakers in a church when most of the priests
go ahead.
and are the
That's what
ones
I'm saying.
sleeping
They're
with half of the
supposed to be the
congregation?
matchmaker.
So
Yeah. Well, that's why they don't want the men there, and they want the
yeah,
single mom,
exactly.
and there's
Yeah.
no shame, right? It used to
Mhm.
be like, oh, you're having babies out of wedlock, girl. What are you thinking? Now it's like, come on down.
Damn, Clue, that chick was in
Yes,
Spanish.
she was.
Clue.
She was indeed. I think what Clue is referring to is when she turned up in the airport in England. He
Oh,
was on the phone to her and he said, "Where are you?" And she said, "I'm sat in the lounge." And he said, this is his words to me, was, I looked round and he said, all I could see was this fat chick. And
oh,
he turned round and said, "Are you?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Mate, you got with it. You take it home because you're not coming back with me." So
church is
it's
all about
it's lost.
business.
Very
Oh,
much
well,
so.
the pastor is the husband, or Jesus is their husband. Yeah, well, about church. I don't go to church anyway. I haven't been to church since 1989. I don't plan on going back. I think it's all. I think it's all a scam. Church,
There's a lot of
uh,
hypocrisy in the church.
very much hypocrisy, very
It's
much
do as I
feminism in
say,
church.
not as I do.
Um, I don't see. I'm not saying they're all bad, but there's a lot of money coming out of churches. But going back to these dating sites, and that includes these dating apps. Like, I never heard of them, but I've heard people talk about them: Tinder and Bumble.
Mhm.
And listen, in the chat, stay off the dating sites. All you're going to find on
Yes,
dating
Clue.
sites is a bunch of fake profiles. You're going to find people that are looking for money. They're going to disguise themselves as somebody, particularly the Nigerian scams. There's a lot of prostitution going on with these dating sites as well. And you women out there, if you're on them, you
Yeah, a
need
lot
to.
of women are looking for sugar daddies. So men are genuinely thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna find my wife or even a reputable girlfriend," but she's looking at you as like a client, like a John.
Hmm.
She's thinking that you're going to be a sugar daddy, and sometimes they play the role and then do this proposal like, "Hey, look, do you want to give me an allowance?" That's really what most of that stuff is on there. And there's a lot of people that are too insecure with themselves and think that by them getting on a dating site that they're somehow going to develop, a high sense of self-esteem. If anything, those dating sites are even more disparaging to your complete and total character, because as a man, the majority, they do studies, don't got to take my word for it, they have stats. The majority of these chicks on there looking for someone over 6 feet. Like 6 feet is not even enough. They want you like over 6 feet, six
Yeah.
one, 6'2". Then not so that's already eliminating tons of people. They're
Hmm.
eliminating you. You could be a high earner. You
Hmm.
could be the husband material.
Lot,
But if
lot,
they're not willing to take you serious because of height, but then they're also telling you to not shame them because of their weight. So
yeah,
how
Hmm.
serious is it,
it's
right?
a lot of
They're
hypocrisy. A lot of
yes.
hypocrisy, a lot of
A lot,
delusion going on, a
yeah,
lot
a
of
lot of
single
these
moms going on. Yeah,
dating sites, simply the men think with their penis and the women think with their bank balance. That's all
that's
it
it.
is.
The
So
ABW is the ABW is the pastor. Okay, the black church caters to the ABW. Yeah, we already know that. Mr. Snowman, I've never been on a dating site. My husband found me on Facebook to hook me. I watch Facebook too, though. Facebook
Well,
is
see,
mhm,
good.
this is the thing. Any social media site could be a dating site. So it
mhm,
ju- so there's social media and dating sites. People use social media as a dating site. I've seen people on YouTube, like, let's be honest, some people will
Oh,
probably
there you
holler
go.
at Jenny and be like, "Hey, Jenny, hit me up." It's true.
mhm,
True.
Anywhere where you're able to be social, because also won't have to do was see Jenny comment, hit reply, "Hey Jenny, here's my email," right? I
True.
mean, it doesn't have to be a dating site for
mhm,
someone to pursue a date or an interaction outside of that particular platform. I present to you Instagram, I present to you WhatsApp, I
mhm,
present to you Snapchat. None of those are regarded as dating sites, but the same thing is happening. Penis pics getting sick, boob pics,
Oh, oh, oh,
people messaging
oh,
each other.
I
all
know
right.
a lady, and I use that term very loosely. Um, who complained about a man sending her a dick pic, and she is a streamer, and had this fallout with him, and she tried to shame him by saying, you kept sending me dick pics, and because I wouldn't send you anything back, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can accept a dick pic once as a bad judgment. If you accept a second dick pic from the same person, you are entertaining it, because there is so many buttons you can press to stop it ever happening again. The fact that he's still got that channel open to you, and you're still allowing him to send you dick pics, you are entertaining it.
But you know what a lot of social media has done, is going into that as part of the topic too. It's really allowed undesirable people to be desirable, because many of them are hiding behind a keyboard. That's what it is. And many of them they're, and I'm not just saying the women, but men, they're asking for a lot, but have very little to deliver. And in retrospect, most of these people on these dating sites, it's all about scamming, sex, or it's they're looking for an easy way to make money, and that's I had never heard of. It's a Chinese site, the TikTok site and OnlyFans site. You got a number of people going on there doing some crazy stuff just to make money, and
I don't do OnlyFans. I mean, I love Tommy Sotomayor. I love him, but the moment he said he was going to OnlyFans, no.
Yeah, Tommy is a trip,
No.
isn't he?
I do. My mum is 84 and she loves him.
Your mom? Oh,
I
wow.
introduced her to her.
Yeah, well, it's just, and I hate to say this about well-developed countries. Yeah, they're good to live in, but you know what they do? A lot of, like England, I'd say England, like the West, it's England, Canada, let's say the United States, and maybe Australia. Yeah, they make everything sound real good, but they lie too. There's a lot of deception going on about the dream, because everybody is not living that dream. Only a few people are living that dream. And you know who's causing that? All the elitists are making it rosy so that everybody is. I'm not saying we don't have an opportunity. We have to jump through hoops to get
but most of these people they want you to buy into the dream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've heard stories of meeting men based on their junk off Tinder. That is true. I've seen that. And producers in the building.
See, I'm not a physical kind of person in a way of what I expect from a man. I mean, I don't take that as an insult to Clue, because Clue is very handsome. I would personally like to know I could have a conversation with a man more than what his body looks like, because your body changes no matter what. But if you've still got the ability to have a conversation with the same man over 20 years or 30 years, regardless, that means more to me.
Well, that's the problem, Jenny, with this social media, and Brother Be Easy. The social media has basically taken the actual human conversation and just turned it into virtual.
It's cold.
And many people are socially awkward now. They don't have any social skills. And I always wonder how they make it at work, because I've seen many people walking around when I was at work like zombies. When I go to school at night, they're walking around like zombies. They don't have an idea of what's going on in the real world because they are stuck to social media. Now, I'm not saying social media doesn't have good points about it, but I find, like, for the black people, they go on WSHH, which is World Star Hip Hop. They air out all of their dysfunction, and some of them are getting paid for it because the video goes viral, and they're just many people out here, they really, all this has become entertainment.
Hmm.
It,
They
it,
want their 15 minutes of fame. A lot of people just want their 15 minutes of fame, and they don't care how they get it.
right. And I see it's not just young people, but it's older people. People
Hmm.
just when you're
It's
constantly on,
all people right now.
yes,
This is a point where it's all people where you can't even distinguish. Like you said, Jenny, your mom is 84. You put her onto Tommy Sotomayor, however you say his name, but
Sotomayor, yeah,
exactly. And even watching on YouTube, YouTube is social media, right? So
it
it's
is.
Hmm.
people in their set because she's subject to the same thing. If she
Hmm.
has an avatar or maybe she puts a Photoshop picture, no one knows that she's 84. So
No,
people will
true.
really look and say, oh, I've seen it. I've seen people saying, "Hey, beautiful," shooting a shot on YouTube. So you think they're not going to do it on Facebook, Instagram, and all of this
Hmm.
stuff? It's not just only teenagers that's on Facebook. Now there
No.
was a whole whistleblower where even Facebook and all these social medias, they're targeting people as young as 7 and 10. They're looking at me, you, Jenny, and saying like, "You guys are has-beens. As much as we want you, they're trying to capture the 7 year. What do you think all
Hmm.
of this TikTok and all of this stuff is about? Think about if you were a pedophile. This is
Yeah.
like a
Well,
haven for you. You
yeah.
can just go on TikTok and see a bunch of girls twerk, and you know what I mean? It's
Then
crazy.
my neighbour, he he was in a relationship with this lady and resulted in a child. They're not together, but they are the perfect parents because they've stayed friends. You can't fault the way they're bringing the girls up. But I was so shocked when the 9-year-old sent me a friend's request on Facebook. And I said to the father, I said, I'm not accepting it because the stuff I post, all I ever post is funny memes. I said, but they are adult funny memes. I said, and I do not
Right.
want his child to see it. And so he said, will you come on TikTok? Will you make a TikTok account so she can share stuff with you then? And I'm like, it's not my kind of thing, but okay. So I made this TikTok account, never posted anything, nothing. And she sent me this, it's like a friend request. I'm not sure what they call it. And she was in this like, can only explain it as like a bra. And I'm like, she's 9 years of age. I understand that's what she's wearing to bed or something, but it looked like a bra. And she's trying to teach me this dance. And I was so offended because I'm like, you're basically allowing your daughter to pimp herself out because, like you said, I'm not the only one who's going to have access to this. And she
You
said,
know
yeah,
what?
but a lot of her friends, are just her friends. And I'm like, but how do you know who these people are? Just because they say they're 11 years of age, don't mean to say that they are 11 years of age. You
And
know,
you don't know, right?
the things what they allow the children to put out there is shocking. I did have a word with him and I said, look, in my opinion, fair enough if she wants to dance. I see nothing wrong with that, but dress her appropriately, put her in a tracksuit, cover herself. I said, I understand she was getting ready for bed, but if she's wearing that kind of clothes to bed, do not put it on TikTok.
Yes, and
Say
there's
to
other
her,
forms of dance too, right? There's ballet,
yeah,
there's tap dancing and things like that. Like
yeah,
there's other ways that you can teach them to dance versus
yeah.
all of this twerking.
But it was
Yeah,
just so weird how they quite happily thought nothing of it. It was like, oh, everybody's doing it. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
but
that's the problem.
that is it.
So since everyone is just doing it, the parents, and this is, you guys could speak on this if you like, but now most parents, they're trying to be friends with their kids. So
Oh,
Mhm.
since everyone is doing it, I don't want to seem like the bully parent that's restricting my kid from doing it. And then their excuses, well, they're going to do it anyway, so I might as well enable them and show them that I'm the cool mom to let
Yeah,
them do that.
now,
But
yeah.
is that helping anyone?
hey, B, see, now you're getting to the topic, and you were on the topic, or maybe you weren't on it, but I talked about it maybe a few weeks ago about family. Is family overrated? And that you just answered the question
Mm.
right there. And I mentioned it several times that these parents are trying to be friends with their kids. They're smoking dope. The mothers are screwing their daughters' boyfriends.
A lot of it is because the parents want to regain
Nobody,
their youth. They want to
nobody
live
grows.
out
That's
their life through their
that's
Nobody
true.
children.
ever grows up when you're on social media. And let's see what Celine has to say. Uh, Being
It's
a WHORE and over sexual has become normalized. Well, social media has been a part of that. And what you see on TV has been a part of that. You know, I was watching a commercial today, and I'm not, look, there was one of these medicine commercials, and they had two men on there kissing. I mean, that's something I
I
never
would,
seen.
I'll just tell you quickly, when I came over to America, I was so shocked by your commercials. Here, we just have what I'd call normal things, advertising, clothes, food,
Hmm.
things like that. But over there, you have like treatment. You can treat yourself with this medication. And I was in awe. I was like watching it, and it was coming up like for these kidney problems and that lot. And it says it leads to this, it leads to that. Side effects can cause
Oh,
to
you're talking
one
about all the
day.
medicine
Yeah,
commercials.
I was like, oh my god,
Oh,
yeah, the
we do
side
not
effect
have.
is
Yeah,
worse than
we do
what
not
they're
have
actually
any of
supposed to be
that.
treating.
that's
Yeah,
another scam, by the way.
we don't
All
have
these
any of that here. We cannot. You're not
medication
allowed to.
medication is a scam as well. Why? Because it only treats the symptoms. Okay, that's it. And what they want you to do, they want to keep on pumping us full of drugs so the pharmaceuticals continue to make money. Let's just be honest. Since this
Yeah,
roll to 19, I never even heard of Pfizer. They become multi-billion
even
company overnight.
even Moderna is
Moderna.
an 11-year-old company, and don't take my word for it. Look it up. 11-year-old company never ever turned a profit until when?
Rona 2020.
Exactly.
They're all
Now,
making
bro,
money.
they're raking in billions, like record historic astronomical numbers. And then also the US government, who subsidized both Pfizer and Moderna, they bought excess of 200 to 300 million doses of the vaccine at $10 per jab. Do the
Yeah,
math on that.
Mm.
a lot of money. Well, Angry Snowman and answer being with family again. If you own a business, I say don't hire family. And I'm going to continue to say that family and friends expect special treatment. They never earn generally. And Mr. Snowman says most meds cause more problems than they're supposedly solving. Facts. And and again, this is what happens. And Brother Angry Snowman, I dropped the link if you want to hop on up here. I'll drop it again. And I've had a good panel so far, just like I like. I don't like to have panels of 10, 6 people at the most, but I like this kind of panel where everybody gets to, we go round robin. But yeah, it's a scam. Education. You think about it. Cable TV is a scam too. And I'm gonna tell you why cable TV is a scam. Well, they try to they try to make you buy all these crazy channels, and what they do, they include Wi-Fi with it, but the package sometimes is so expensive they don't even tell you when it goes up. I don't know if you have cable TV over there, Jenny, but we got cable over here, Comcast, or what do you got out there in California, Be Easy?
Man, it's a monopoly, bro. They Comcast and AT&T, they wiping everybody out.
So you
They
got
have
Comcast
other
out
ones.
there?
Yes, Comcast and
Let me
AT&T, they the
let me
big
ask you
dogs
a
out
question
here.
about Comcast. I've had it where my internet is gone out. The internet sucks on Xfinity. It sucked, man. My internet went out one time, and I said I'm
Yeah,
paying
no,
all
it's
this
pretty
money.
bad.
Yeah,
They just keep raising the rates, but the thing is, they're the big dogs. They've monopolized the market. So when you get pissed off, you can only go to AT&T and T, and they kind of do the same thing. So it ends up you waffling back and forth. It's almost like politics, right? there's a tons of different parties, but none of them truly have any viability, right? There's Libertarian, Green Party, all of these other parties, but ultimately your only true choice is Republican and Democrat,
They
right?
got all.
No matter if you don't want to choose them or not. I mean, you can choose to sit out, just like you can choose to not have cable or internet. But where does that leave you? So yeah, you got to choose Comcast or AT&T out here. Kind of
Here,
no way
here's
around that.
here's about Comcast. Celine, when I was in high school, I was shocked to see how many girls were so sexual at that early of an age. When a child is older, they can do what they want, but it's amazing how so many adults don't care. Well, the adults don't care because they want to relive their childhood too. In fact, I and this is another place. This is why when it comes to some of these like older mamas out there, this is why they want to take care of their grandchildren because they failed taking care of their children. So now they want to try to be a mom all over again. So they won't, in their minds, believe that they failed, but they have failed. And in the end, again, when it comes to family, I'm going to say this again: blood is not thicker than water. Family will hold you back more than anything. They will. They because they're expecting something. Go ahead, brother. Be easy.
Yeah, you know what? I had to jump in on this because this is one of my uncles told me this a long time ago, and every time I tell someone this, they seem to agree with me. So he said, "Hey, these people aren't your family; they're your relatives." Right? That's
Right.
the more appropriate term because they're related to you, usually by blood, but by the definition and what you purport family to be, they're not that, right? Backstabbing you, talking behind your back, trying to get over on you. Ideally, no one believes those are family characteristics. So, are they truly your family? They're your relatives. They're related to you. You can't dispute that. But them being family, that is in question
And you know,
because I see some people that are friends that will do more than you, than your quote unquote family or relatives. That's who your true family is. It's not by blood, it's by bond.
and you want to find out when you know it goes left. Wait till one of the parents dies, and then how many kids are fighting over the money.
That could be a whole stream right there.
I mean, you know what? Hey, might have to bring that in there because, like I said, nobody's talking about this stuff. But this, I mean, these are real issues out
these
there.
are these are actual issues that impacts, like we were saying earlier. Okay, I know it was drama about this person called that person a bitch and they're fighting. I'm sorry, it doesn't help
Doesn't
me anyways.
doesn't
It doesn't
resonate with
help me
me.
pay for any type of a bill. It's not even anything that I could pass on to my nephew or anyone in my community
Right.
to empower them.
Exactly.
But these social issues and societal issues that we're talking about, we could actually learn something from that, getting a different perspective, coming to a common ground, saying, "Oh yeah, we all do agree on that." At least, I don't know. I just think it's a lot of hypocrisy too, even in the YouTube streets, because people say we're trying to build a certain community or we're trying to unite men, and then I'm like, how are you uniting men by keeping them distracted with frivolous bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
In all
It is.
fairness, some of the men are worse than the women for
Oh yeah.
bickering.
Yeah.
I vehemently agree with that. That's
That
what gets
is
me pissed
true.
because y'all barking and bickering and belly aching about the chicks, and then I'm like, dude, you giving off some big feminine energy.
But
Mm.
but I always tell the men, hey, look, you're not going to change them. You got to change. This is what being red pill is, and that was next on the topic. When I tell people about being red pill, most of the guys in here hide under red pill. They're not red pill. They're actually blue pill because really their whole mindset is not on economics or gaining power. It's about getting a woman. But what they're trying to do, they're trying to change something that is not going to change. They've already been indoctrinated by this system and they're comfortable with it. And at the end of the day, you're wasting time. That's why I don't talk about women on my channel. Um, go ahead, Clue, especially in this space, and we all know it. And it's a lot of delusion going on here, and when men can't get along with each other, what do you think the women are looking at? They're looking at us like we're a bunch of clowns. They are
And
laughing at.
that's how a lot of dudes are acting, not only clown, like effeminate clowns. You're over here belly aching, bickering, and drama, and most people would try to ascribe those qualities to being feminine, right? To
Facts.
being a bitch, and then you're acting just like that. So what exactly are you? What level of masculinity are you displaying if you're only talking about dramatic stuff? It's like, what is this, the Real Housewives of YouTube?
I have this
It-
conversation with Clue all the time. I say to him, we've got so many men who we frequent on their streams who are so intelligent and have so much to offer, but they're stuck in the same
they're all stuck.
mindset.
Right.
They
That's why I
can't
never.
move on.
Well, that's why I look at that. That's why I don't deal with the Pookie issue. I look at men or men regardless of where they came. Well, some of them are males. They're males. They're not men. Men that they don't.
Yeah, man is a prestigious title. You have to earn that title. It's
Right.
thrown
And
out there too loosely, but male is more appropriate because male represents a gender of
Mhm.
boys and
and,
men.
and I just believe that too many men, and I'm going not just the black race, probably a little bit more in the black race. I think too many men are letting themselves down. They're not going to their full potential because all they're worried about the woman trying to impress her every day. It's basically keeping him from being focused. And being red pill means you're seeking the truth. It's not just the woman's issue. You got to understand what's going on around you in the real world. You got to understand that there are people out there trying to scam you, like other men. Your family is trying to scam you. Don't think families aren't trying to scam one another because, because it was funny on the dating sites when I saw it. Oh, my family is number one. Most of what you're getting in today's family is a bunch of women living with each other with their grown kids. I don't know about over there where you are, Jenny, but here in America, it's a bunch of women living together with their grown kids, and they got the grown sons living at home with them. It's basically a dysfunctional type of environment, and that's why these men have a hard time relating to people like me and Be Easy because we don't live under our mama's roofs.
Mhm.
We're out here making our own money, and I don't care if you're from the streets or not from. I don't even look at that. If you're living at home with your mama past the age of
Mm.
25, something is wrong. I
Well,
mean,
mine are living with me. My
you got grown kids living at home.
I have my
What are they living at
eldest
home for?
is 27, I believe. No, they're going to kill me for that because I always forget. 27 and 25. I've explained to Clue, it's different here. We don't have the same social issues that you have in the States. We let our children leave when they're ready and when they're prepared to. But we have a big thing about making them pay for where they're staying.
Yeah, but see,
So
yeah, but
um,
yeah, but how do your children since they're are they getting the benefit? I mean, what are they?
the way I look at it is, if my son turned around at the age of 16 and said he wanted to get his own place, or if he wanted to move in with his mates or any age, I would gladly welcome it. I'd say go for it. I'm not stopping them. There there are issues here more so with the pricing of property here. It's so different to your properties. It's the just a rental. Like we could,
Right.
what we pay for like a 2 or 3 bedroom house here, you could get a 6 or 7 bedroom house in America, right? So the prices of the property here is sky high. So unless your child has got a very good start with a job, or he wants to go down the route of staying with friends. You have all got to have a very good job to be able to live without your parents. Now, my one son, he has slight learning problems. He's fine. He's quite capable of getting out there on his own and doing it if he wanted to, like, you know. So I've never stopped him. But I've always said to them, you will pay your way. You're not living here rent-free. So the moment they got a job, I sat down with them and I said, right, this is what you're earning. This is what you're going to pay because you are using my electric, my gas, my internet, my phones, anything like that, you will pay for. So it's not like they're living there rent-free, you know.
You see, in America,
This
number of parents.
This is the difference.
Yeah, a number of the parents are letting their kids live because in Syracuse, New York, there was this 30-year-old. He was still living with his parents, and he tried to sue his parents.
I think I read that.
Sue his parents. Got Angus in the building. Welcome, bro.
What's up, man? I'm probably lagging a little bit because, you know, I got shitty ass ghetto Comcast cable and.
Oh, hey, me and Be Easy were just talking about Comcast. I got it too here, man. So,
dude, somebody needs to fucking quit lying and calling this shit fucking internet access because it ain't. But it's like, dude, Comcast is like the equivalent of the party line back in the day when you had got a telephone.
Yeah, but we, for the most part, Jenny, I've seen kids living under their parents' house, particularly their moms. They're not paying a bit of rent.
Oh, no.
Food free, drive free.
When my sons leave this house to set up on their own, they will know what it's like to pay bills. They will know what it's like to pay rent. It will cost them more to leave. But I think in England, we haven't got that thing where the boys are leaving home as soon as they can to shack up with another girl. You know what I mean? They can be more selective of when they want to leave. And this is the discussion I have with Clue, because he said, like, a lot of the time, especially the boys, are basically, as soon as they're old enough to leave home, they're either forced out by the parents or they want to leave, and they end up shacking up with a girl, end up getting her pregnant, then they're paying that for the rest of their lives, that kind of thing. We don't have the same social issue here of keeping their children at home, but we will make them pay. We don't let them live rent-free.
Go ahead, Angry Snowman.
What happened to the days when parents, you know, they knew that they were good parents if their kids couldn't wait to move the fuck out, like already had their bags packed the day they turned 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you know you're a good parent, man. If your fucking kids hate you so much by the time they turn 18 that they already got their shit packed, you know, ready to go, fucking already paid first month's rent deposit and all that shit on this department that they just got, ain't even graduated high school yet, willing to go work 2 fucking jobs and go to school. It's their senior year. They don't care. They just don't want to be underneath your thumb because you're a bastard. You have too many rules. You are unreasonable. You just don't understand what it's like to be 18 in today's world. Then good, get the fuck out of my house.
See, that's what we do over here, Jenny. We don't look. I've seen kids over here. They're living at home today, 40. So,
but the thing is, here, once they leave, they don't come back. There's no coming. They don't come back. So we've obviously we're doing something right.
I did forget. Disclaimer, the views and opinions represented by Snowman are not the views and opinions of anybody on this panel or anybody associated with this panel, 411 Talk Zone Radio Show himself, or any affiliates affiliated with him. These are all the views and opinions expressed by a crazy white dude that doesn't have any common sense.
Shout out the Clue. But no.
Now, I would say I agree with both Angry Snowman and Jenny, because especially in our community, people do be kind of quick to kick their kids out before they're even ready, right? It's like, you're 18, you're grown. Like, really? How on one hand are we saying psychologically studies prove that the brain hasn't fully formed until 25, but you're like, here, let me kick kick this still I mean, you're 18. If as long as you have teen on your name, right? I mean, you're still a kid.
It's like
Even when
this.
you're at 21, some people consider that. So
I get that.
while they should be prepared, not all, there's a lot of parents that's derelict in their duties, right? So it's like you haven't even been parenting them to the best of your abilities, and now you want to kick them out and then blame them, for going and being a criminal or unproductive citizen when there wasn't fully formed. It's like giving someone, some dinner that's not fully cooked and expecting it to be a nutritious meal.
That must be something that's just that's different than in the fucking white Wakanda community, because I'm gonna tell you what, most of those parents that want to be friends with their kids and don't teach them anything or how to fucking actually live in the real world, that won't even teach their kids how to fill out a job application or go up and take part in a resume, they generally let their kids, where I'm from, fucking stay at home with them. Hell, my oldest daughter, she's I think 24, 25 now, and still lives at home with her mom.
Yeah, if she was black, she would have been out.
dude, if she lived with my mom, she would have been out the damn house. Hell, by the time I was 22, my mom couldn't stand me no more.
Yeah, I was out by 17.
Yeah, dude, I remember I moved out the day I turned 18. My mom called the cops on me, yo. Called the cops on me. Tried to get me arrested. Tried to make the cop make me stay home. He's like, what do you want me to do, ma'am? He's 18. But he's still in high school. So what, ma'am? He's 18. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
I left my home a married woman. I was 27. I got married from my mum's house, and I've never been back.
Well, see, here we got the revolving door, and these kids, and it's the moms. They're letting them come back. Like I said, they're eating up all the food. They're not paying anything. They can bring anybody in the house that they want. Now, that my mom wouldn't allow me to do that, and I'm happy about that. But I just see too many of that. And you got a lot of son husbands out here where the son is basically the husband or the man to the man that the mom really wanted, or the man the mom didn't want, because the son reminds her of the man who she procreated with.
I was the latter. I reminded my mom entirely. I reminded my mom so much of my dad. She told me that probably every day of my life from the time I turned 13 on.
And it also depends, as Mr. Snowman says, if they act like they're grown and think they are grown, send them out to prove it. They will come crawling back with their tail between their legs most times.
But the thing is here. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to make a joke, man. My son, he's 7. He whines and cries all the time. I've already tried to kick his ass out. I said, leave then. Go pack your book bag with a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, your Switch, and a couple changes of clothes, and I'll see you when you decide you want to come back and act reasonable.
So hold on, let me ask you this, Angry Snowman. I know your kids may not be older, so maybe it could be posed as a hypothetical. If you did kick your kids out, and something happened to them, bad, they got strung on drugs or something of that sort, would you feel any blame, or would you just say, hey, it is what it is? It
is what it is. That's life.
All right.
I mean, let's be realistic, dude. Because like I said, I got 6 kids, dude. I got a 24-year-old, I got a 21-year-old, I got a 13-year-old, I got a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, a about to be 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old. All right, so I got the whole damn spectrum.
You staggered that ladder, didn't you, bro?
You never learned to say no.
Them last 2 kids were fucking life's cruel fucking joke at me, like, ha ha, motherfucker. You thought you were done changing diapers. Well, guess what? Hold my beer.
Angry sperm man.
He let a woman take advantage of him that many times.
I did too, man. And look, that's why I'm scared to have sex with my wife now.
Hey, look, shout out
I
to
am, dude. I'm afraid I'm gonna get pregnant again. I don't want another one. Fuck
hey,
that shit. This last one's crazy.
hey, shout out to Clue. I can't screw a chick at my parents' house. Well, yeah, when you living at home, you can't. How many times have you killed your
But what
husband?
about mother's basement?
My mom's dead, so there ain't no mother's basement.
What he
Uh,
meant was you're not supposed to. I bet he did.
Even kids stay at home into their 30s get strung out on drugs. You can't put it solely on the parents who pushed them out of the nest.
You got to remember, yeah, that's true because you got to remember, people are going to be people regardless. And the funny thing about young adults, and I think that's why we take issues psychologically with kids once they reach the ages of like 17 to 21 because you have some of those that actually act like adults and it looks like they comprehended the things that they were being taught growing up, and then you have those others that they're dumber than they were when they were in fucking diapers. And you're trying to figure out how they regress so much into that level of stupidity.
Right, right.
I mean, let's be true. Let's be honest about this. As much as we love our kids, though, I forget what the comedian was, who the comedian was that said it, but he said kids are the biggest fucking disappointment and the worst investment a parent or an adult could ever make. Seriously, and it's true if you think about it. You bring these people into the world. Look, we understand you didn't ask to be here. Well, we didn't ask for you to be here either. Everybody was caught off guard on this, dude. Everybody. It isn't like most of us were sitting here planning this. Just like you were caught off guard, you got stuck with us. Well, hey, motherfucker, we were caught off guard and got stuck with you too.
Both of mine were planned.
Lemon Pepper Wings 69 says back in the days they could get it anywhere.
Shit, I remember back in the day, man, when I was still part of that generation where the principal was still allowed to whoop your ass when you were in school.
You were Gen X like me. Yes.
Oh damn, you got the paddle?
Hell yeah, I got the paddle, dude.
Girls used to get the
and
slipper.
look, and the principal wasn't your parent. He didn't love you. He didn't give a shit what that motherfucker felt like when he hit you with that thing.
Hey,
The
so
thing
was the
is,
paddle just in school, or would you get a neighborhood paddle too? Because I knew like neighbors would like whoop other neighbors' kids too.
Oh, dude, by the time if I got in trouble or did something stupid with any of the neighborhood kids, every one of us, by the time we got home, we had already had our ass beat by half the fucking town. Either our ass was beat or we were getting shunned and laughed at the whole way home. Everybody saying, yeah, just wait till you get home. And man, I can't wait to see your mom beat the shit out of you.
And the funny thing is, the neighbor would call your parents. If your parents were called by
You were
anybody,
fucked.
and if you weren't in when the street lights came on,
mhm.
woo,
Bro, have you ever grown up in an era where you begged the cops to take you to juvie instead of taking you home?
yeah.
I can't count how many times I begged the cops.
Hey, that I do. It's crazy though that you'll be more worried about what your
Now
parent
I
is
know.
gonna do
For real, dude.
than the cop. I'm like,
Yeah,
take
just-
me to jail, lock me up.
Just take me
Now
to
I know
juvie.
what
What
this
do I gotta
white
do?
privilege is.
What do I gotta do for you to just put me in jail?
yeah.
Motherfucker, we're gonna sit here after you go home and your mom knows we're bragging you, so we're just gonna sit out here and watch her beat the fuck out of you on the front porch. It's gonna be our entertainment tonight.
And now this new type of parenting, this timeout, and
Oh,
you know,
no.
and I call them helicopter parents. They're friends with their kids. They give their see. When I was coming up, I didn't have an opinion. You know why I didn't have an opinion?
Because it didn't fucking matter.
That's right. Now kids have an opinion.
Kids are to be seen, not heard.
Right. Kids have an opinion because that switch didn't feel good. But I tell you what, that belt did work. Mrs. Snowman, I never got beat on, but I was of the quiet ones anyway, so I didn't really get in trouble. And Brother Clue, my dad had a baseball beating.
Oh, dude. For real, man. I didn't look. Most motherfuckers don't realize that you can get hit so hard that you see stars, and we're not talking like what you see in the cartoons. That ain't what it means. When you get hit by somebody so hard you see stars, it look like you just went warp speed through space. and you have all them stars flashing past your fucking head. Tell me you ain't never seen that before. Got knocked so fucking hard that boom, all you're seeing is stars flying past your head.
And like I said, it's the world where parents, they haven't grown up. And I here's my humble opinion. This might not sit well with people. I think some of the parents are afraid of their kids too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen some of the kids overrun their parents, particularly the moms. In fact, I couldn't find a video, but there was an old Dr. Phil video out there where his 10-year-old boy was saying, "You're not the boss of men." He slapped his mom.
Oh my God.
Slapped his mom in the face. Boy, I said, God, thank God.
My mum would have knocked me into next week if I'd have done that to her.
But see, now culture, but see also the way societal pressure is, if your mom would have knocked you into next week, Jenny, even though you may have, done something naughty to deserve it, your mom is gonna out here, somebody's gonna call CPS or try to get her. Like they don't. Before, I grew up on corporal punishment, and actually I didn't get that much because I got a little bit slicker rather than getting caught. But I even talked about this one time, I believe, on a stream with 411. I got some psychological punishment that was actually worse than the corporal punishment. I had to stand in the corner. It's kids playing. They wanted me to come outside and ride bikes. Nope. I had to stand in the corner all day. You sit down?
Oh,
no.
man.
Stand up. I was like, just give me my whooping and let me go outside. They're like, nope, stand in the corner. That was the worst.
My stepdad would make me stand in the corner on my knees. He wouldn't make me stand on my feet. He'd make me get on my knees. And I'd have to be on my knees and my shoes. If I was wearing shoes, only my toes could be touching. So like all my weight was on my toes and my knees the whole time I was in the corner. Dude, when I got ass whoopings by that man, he would make me stand straight up and then bend all the way over and grab my ankles.
Jesus. Yeah. My dad, when I got a little older, he used to punch me in the chest, man, especially when I walked in 3 o'clock in the morning. And I
was
my
raised.
My stepdad used to beat the shit out of me all the time, man, until I got big enough and old enough to whoop his ass.
I was raised in a community where if you did wrong, anybody could hit you. If you cheat if you cheat the neighbour, they could hit you. If you were at school and you played up, the teacher could hit you. My mum was the one who used to beat on us if we messed about. My father never laid a finger on me, never laid a finger on any of us. But if my mum ever said to us, "You wait till your dad comes home,"
God, I hated
that was enough punishment for us. We knew then we'd, even though he never ever done anything.
Until my dad came and turned the bed over.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, we must be in really deep, if dad's being involved. But he never ever done anything.
Right. I was an ugly girl in the school, so pretty much chilled on by my own, with only a few friends that were well behaved. My senior year, I went rogue and didn't stop until well into my 20s. LOL, Mrs. Snowman. Well, sometimes you do. And
hey, let's just keep it perfectly honest. Both me and Mrs. Snowman were we were hoes back in the day. Both of us. That's why we were glad we met each other when we did. Because we would have hated each other if we would have been
retired hoes.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Okay. That's dope. I want to ask you and Mr. 411. So you guys both alluded to the point of you getting beatings and all sorts of corporal punishment. Do you think that molded you into the person that you are today for the betterment of your character or to the detriment?
For me, I believe it molded me into a better man, because then I went to the military, and guess what? In the military, they got the same thing, because they could hit you in the military too.
Hold on, you said they can hit you?
Back in the day.
Back in 88, 89, 80. Oh yeah, I mean, I went in there, and I had a smart mouth when I went in there too.
Yep, in his military, they could haze you. That was when hazing was still allowed.
When I was in the Navy, oh man, they'd have this exercise called MASH, and I said, well, what? And I don't know, when I first got there,
it's not the TV show.
That's exactly what I said. I said,
I know about that show.
he said, I said, is that the TV show? Said something real stupid, and he said, oh, we got a funny one here. Get on your knees, and I'm gonna mash the dog shit out of you. What's that stand for? After I got a few that said make a sailor hurt, make you do all kinds of strenuous exercise, crappy work, and after that, man, it was I didn't go. Shut my mouth for a while. If you told them you were from New York or Chicago, I pity the fool. You might not even make it through boot camp.
See, fuck that. And then being stuck out in the middle of the fucking ocean on a boat while all that shit's going on too, with nowhere to go.
This was actually in boot camp, Angry Snowman. That's where they did all the hitting.
I figured that you still got some hazing early on when you got put on your boat as a private first class.
Yeah. Well, when you became a petty officer, they would take your arm, wrap it around a pole, and they call it tacking on it. Oh, they had some hate. It's just like the Marines. They gave you that blood stripe. Oh yeah, it's just like
real life, man.
But
that's the problem, Leon. Is there's no hazing in life anymore.
So why you think they took the military physical punishment out?
Because too many women were bitching and complaining because they couldn't meet the physical requirements to get in, and this world's all about.
I was just about to say, because they let the females into the military.
I did not want to touch that, but thank you, Angry Snowman. That's, in fact, this is why I got out of the active. When 1992, 93 came around, then that's when there were programs. They started bringing sexual harassment programs up.
And that's when G.I. Jane came out?
Well, look, dude, let's be realistic. We got a bunch of fucking women on this planet that want all the fucking glory and all the fucking the rights that a man have, but we end up with this fucking fresh and fit shit when you got a fucking dumbass woman that thinks that she can try and attack a dude.
Oh,
and then think that he doesn't have a right to defend himself from being assaulted. That's insanity.
Clue says I take 6 mama beatings over a dad beating. Lemon Pepper Wing says you guys must never got hit by a Mexican sandal. Oh no, I don't. Mrs. Snowman, the punishment was removed because the world went soft. Oh,
my mom used to throw fucking plastic fucking coffee mugs at you.
Oh hell, that hurt too. But you're right, Angry Snowman. That's why I would have done 20. That would make me an officer, and it was just they did start letting a number of women come in there, and
they lowered the fitness tests and all sorts of requirements too. So not only did they lower the requirements, then they omitted. You guys are saying that punishment was seemingly effective, right?
Yeah, they got that out of there. The older sailors, soldiers, this was back when Clinton was in office, and that's when he drew down the military, and people were getting out left and right. And
well, look, dude, let's be real. That's why you got a bunch of fucking the military of your era is that the retired ones, the veterans that are sitting back laughing at today's military and today's army that think that they're going to go against the people that actually took an oath and kept an oath to this nation. Why do you think from Gen X on back all those veterans laugh if the military thinks that our government thinks they're going to take over this country? What are you going to do? Have them come in with their rainbow colored dildos and their fucking pussy hats and all that shit and wave their shit around and throw a tantrum, and that's going to fucking no, that's not going to work. Sorry.
Oh, hold on. Let me ask y'all this.
Okay.
Was there a bunch of trans people?
No.
When you were coming up in there?
No.
There were hardly any women in the military when we were kids.
And in the military, and
if they were in the military, they were in the office.
Yeah, they were doing all the support, or if they were on ships, they were on support ships.
I was just about to say, what do you guys think about women being on the front line?
I think it's stupid, just like I think it's stupid that transsexuals are. Just like I think it's stupid that anybody.
It's really watered down the military, Jenny. It has.
It has.
Well, let's be real. Militaries are not supposed to be friendly people. What do militaries do? They go out and they either start or resolve conflicts. And in order for that to happen, there has to be blood spilled.
But you want to really know what the job of the military is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
To destabilize governments.
And guess what you're gonna have to do to stabilize government? You're gonna have to kill something to do that.
It's the truth. That's a job where you know what you're going out to do at the end of the day, regardless of what your MOS is or any other secondary thing to what you're going in for. Your job is to go kill people, and you're given a license to do it.
So, Jenny, do you think there should be more women on the front line?
No.
No, I think there should be more women in the kitchen.
The SAS refused to have women on.
You all got the Royal Navy over there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the SAS, the Special Air Service, Armed Services.
It's kind of what like a SEALs or Marines or something like that.
They will not have women on there. In there, you cannot join if you're a woman. They have tried, but they can't
pass the physical requirements.
It's not that, because they said that the things you have to endure, and they will go through this basically torture themselves to go. If they ever got captured, they said there is so much worse they could do to a woman. They could rape her and everything. And they said she would not mentally or physically be able to say name, rank, number, end of story. They said she would spill the beans no sooner as she'd be giving them all the information. And a woman cannot keep a secret. I'm sorry, but a woman cannot keep a secret.
No, you're right. Men are built for that.
If they're going to go for SEALs, many of them wouldn't even make it through BUDS. BUDS is basic underwater diving, which I don't know. I think that's a long time. Not many men make it. Only, let's say out of 100, only 6 make it through. The other 94 wash out. The training is tough. And definitely not the Marines. That's right, Clue 2.
But a 411, I wanted to actually answer his question that he asked you too. And to be quite honest with you, I think that corporal punishment has its benefits and its it has its positives and its negatives. Honestly,
it
does. But I honestly believe. Look, dude, I will tell you this much. Growing up in an era where you got your ass beat and it was acceptable, like nobody batted an eye if your mom fucking took her purse and used it like a damn baseball bat in the grocery store fucking line. And knocked you out for grabbing something off the fucking off the shelf that she didn't ask you to grab. Right. You know what I'm saying? And seeing how those kids have turned out as adults, and then seeing how these kids that were told that they had rights and that their opinions mattered and that they should be heard too, and da and given this participation shit and everybody's equal. I've seen where that leads the young adults now too, because those kids are coming into their late 20s, early 30s now. It isn't like those kids are kids anymore. Those kids are legitimate fucking adults, that are coming, should be well into coming in their own, and they're fucking stupid. They've lost their mind. They think that they should have everything given to them. They think they don't have to answer to the repercussions of their actions. They think that everybody should agree with what they say, and if you don't, then you're a bigot and just a piece of shit in general, and this, that, and the other. And the kids that got beat by their parents, they were taught to think about what's going to happen if I do this. The positives are I'm going to have fun for a few hours, but when I get home, is this going to be one of them things that's going to cost me, just an ass whooping or a talking to, or am I going to lose half my summer over this shit and get beat at the same time? You know what I'm saying? And those Gen Z they don't fucking have that kind of mentality anymore. Right. And when you think about shit, not to mention, let's be real. Everybody knows that when you get corporal punishment, unfortunately, the reality of it is sometimes parents make the mistakes of going just a little too far with it.
True.
It happens. Even if you are doing it for the right reasons, because you're pissed off and you let your emotions get the best of you, this, that, and the other. It happens. And kids need to be able to see that you have remorse and understanding when you take shit too far. That they need to see that you're really doing it out of a place of love, and know that if you take it too far, it affects you just as much as it affects them.
Facts.
Because as a parent, you shouldn't want to do that to your kids.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, we've just been joined by my man Melly Mel. What's going on, brother?
How you doing? How you doing? Y'all can hear me clear? Because I got a new mic.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay,
Loud
okay.
and clear.
Yeah. That's definitely, man. Like, yo, there's this video I seen last night. It was from Pink Pill Books. Oh man, this girl talking about, the title is "My Dad Hates Me Because He's Intimidated by Me." I'm like, I kid you not. I was like, please, I gotta get a hold of Nate. he has to do it.
That's a big one right there.
He had to. It's perfect. He has to, because it's like, oh man, I'm gonna put the link in the back chat.
You shoot that off the Nate, man.
Yeah, like, oh, yo, it's like, yo, it's like these youngins these days. She rebelled over her father's teachings, period, because of the fact that he's trying to raise his family as a traditional family. She affected her younger sister, and then he ain't allowing his other he got two sons, 2 or 3. He ain't allowing them to see her and everything. Like, you can't see him alone. Like, that's how he putting his foot down, because this is how far his daughter, rebelled like crazy and stuff.
Right.
She had babies out of wedlock and stuff, and she's really indoctrinated by this feminism mess. She's mad because her last name is different from her father's and stuff. Yet, her mother, technically she knows that her mother, she did the father that she's mad at ain't her biological father in some way. But they ain't do a DNA test to fully prove it. But it's obviously, if he didn't change, have the last name match your last name not match with his and everything, obviously he knows that you're not his biological child like that. And your beef is with your mother, not with him. But
It's funny how that happens.
yeah, I mean, yo, this is how far these child children is. Like, if you have a lot of kids and everything, you're gonna have like 1 or 2 that's gonna rebel. More like 2 of them, because of the fact that you got the one that actually chose to rebel, and she's, they're indoctrinating the next sibling.
It's usually because they've never been told no as well.
Exactly.
Or they've been or they've been told that they have a choice on whether or not they have to go see their dad on their dad's time, instead of telling them it's their dad's time. Get out of here.
Well, not just that. Not only that, like I said, she rebelled over her father's teaching because he raised her. She didn't like how she felt how women were being treated in the household, traditional family household. Like, they feel like they don't have no rights and everything from her point of view. This damn feminine Nazi crap and everything.
That don't have nothing to do with feminism. That's just a kid. A kid don't have no rights at home. You have the right to shut the fuck up and do what I told you to do, or get the fuck out.
Exactly, and you just said it fast right there. This is the problem. These kids having choice, and like I said, they're being indoctrinated at a younger age and stuff. This girl's like 27 years old now and everything. I mean, I can't even know she probably went to college, and this is where they really get them, put them in a hook.
Yeah.
It's way before college, and it's not about having choices. It's about them being given choices. So I'll use an example. My friend with his son, he's always saying, oh man, I gotta get him these chicken nuggets, and I gotta get him this because that's the only thing he eats. Nah, you just keep. That's the only thing, the option that you give him. He says he wants chicken nuggets. He complains and pouts about it. You go get it, and you say, "Oh, this is the only thing he eats." And I know Angry Snowman will appreciate this. Hey, you cook the food, and if you don't eat it, I know my mom was like, then you could just starve, right?
Yes,
but
my mum
now.
did that.
Now they give the kids an option. I hear parents all the time, well, what do you want to eat tonight? McDonald's, or are you feeling like burrito? And the kid always, it's like a dream to them. They're going to say, yeah, I want Taco Bell. Yeah, I want this. And the parents run right out and get it and say, I didn't have time to cook because I was so busy.
My son gets that kind of shit so little, he doesn't even know what McDonald's is.
Mine never had it.
And it's going so far. It's like, it's like, now we got social media and everything, like TikTok and everything. Now they're having a voice, and we got other people that's amping them up and stuff like that. Around their same age, amping them up.
Well, a lot of that, Mel, too. Think about this. You got all these quote unquote intellectuals and educators that are going out and telling people how to raise kids that don't have no fucking kids of their own, but think they know everything about the child's mind and the psychology behind them because they read a bunch of books and had a bunch of fucking theologists tell them how their minds work.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. I got 6 kids, and not a single one of them was anything like the other one. Not a single one of them. Not one thing I used on one worked on the other one, other than shut the fuck up. You know, it's like with dinner time. My son, he asks me all the time, Dad, what you making for dinner? Food. Come on, what are you making? Food. You'll find out when you eat it.
Exactly. Surprise.
I'm gonna try to share this video. Fair use. If I can share it. Hold on a minute.
Now, mind you, the only reason why I cook is because my wife sucks at it. She's Irish, and she doesn't understand what salt and pepper is.
That's just a white thing, though, isn't it? Apparently.
No, that's a fucking Irish thing.
Yeah.
How men aren't them, and that's why their relationships
All right,
can't
shout
work out. But never have I ever
Shout
heard
out
a
to
daughter
Pink
say
Pill
that her
Lessons for
father
this
was
video
intimidated
here.
by her, and that's the reason why they have a broken
Your
That
daddy
is a
intimidated
lesbian
by
I
you.
think my
right
dad is
there.
intimidated by the woman that I have become.
Can you all
No, it's
hear it?
not.
This one right
You
here
ain't
is
even
so
a woman.
crazy. So go ahead and double check and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the
All right, here's
notification
the
bell for
video
all
that
updates. And if
that-
you're new,
that,
include new subscriber in your comment
fair
below.
use.
And I'm going to try my best to respond to all of you. Not going to waste any time here. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I ask myself this question a lot, and it kind of eats me alive because I don't really understand what I could have done to make my dad resent me so much. And the only thing that makes sense, and I'm not saying this to
Pause
sound
this a minute,
cocky, I'm saying this
Leon.
because it is legitimately
All
the
right.
only thing
Hold it.
that makes sense to me.
Hold on,
I think
pause
my
it.
dad is intimidated by the
Just
woman
say
that I have become
Good.
because my dad grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household.
What's
And
that?
in the Jehovah's Witness religion, women are nothing other than servants. Women don't have their own ideas. Women don't have their own
Go to the
opinions. Like they
actual
just do what their
screen that's being
husband tells them to
shared
do. That's just
and
how
do
it
all the work
works.
from there.
Men are always
Okay,
in
hold
charge
on.
in that
Wait,
religion.
yeah.
All
And
right.
that shit doesn't fly with me.
Got it. All
I
right.
should
First thing I
imagine
wanna-
he's resentful with the fact that he had a daughter who's dressing like a bloke.
Well, my first question I want to ask before I even hear anything that this quote unquote adult has to say is, how much government assistance are you getting? How much of that shit that you have in that house did you actually work for and by yourself, or did you take it from someone else? How much of that shit are you actually providing? Do you provide your daycare yourself, or do you get government vouchers for that shit? Are you actually doing shit on your own? Or are you married? Do you have, at least your significant other, your domestic partner living with you, helping you raise your family, so to speak, or whatever? Or are you just
Right.
being a dumbass kid, having everyone else do everything for you, and then sitting and fucking bitching and complaining because your parents are telling you you're a dumbass?
Oh,
But
wait
she's
till
a
you find
female.
out.
You shouldn't be
I'm ruining
asking her
you.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let it play and see what you're talking about, brother Melly Mel. And I guess we can jump on in and elaborate on. Hold on one moment. Let me pull it up.
I have been calling my dad out since I was old enough to call my dad out. And I genuinely feel like at this point in my life, being an adult and still doing that to him is really intimidating. I feel like in his world, he is always right because he's a man. And I'm not going to
Got a
sit by
baby
and let
in
him
the back,
keep thinking
too?
that. And I genuinely feel like he's intimidated.
Shout out
by
to
that.
Pink Pill
That is
Lessons
the
for
only
this
thing that
video.
makes sense. Because there's no other
Subscribe to her
reason that
channel.
he should resent me and
Fair
not have a
use.
relationship.
Fair use.
Oh, no, ma'am. It's one thing to have an issue with your parent and maintain respect. What you don't do is get out of line. You're still the child and that's your parent. The way she's saying calling him out sounds like she was coming at him sideways in a disrespectful way. And it seems like her father is a traditional man, a religious man. So it's very sad that his daughter, she's turned into this modern woke feminist, just running her mouth and oversharing on TikTok. I don't understand why people continue to do this. Like, what is she doing? Trying to be a strong woman and fight patriarchy? Like, this is crazy. And it's not just that religion. Men are always in charge in traditional households everywhere. So no, ma'am, your
Yes.
father is not intimidated by you. You're simply
all.
out of order. 9 times out of 10, you said something disrespectful and he's not tolerating your disrespect.
chances are,
the series, I just want to give you guys an
I guarantee you she doesn't do it to his face. She does it over the phone.
That Jeremy saying that he wasn't
Or
ready
does
to
it
be a
on
father was a valid
Facebook.
statement. I just want you guys to know that I am the oldest of 6 children. If he
Okay.
wasn't ready to be a father when he did it the first time, why would he do it 5 more times?
Because
my
life,
son
you
was born a
stupid
year and a half
bitch.
after me, and he married my mom when I was 3 months old. If he didn't want this life, he could have walked away from it, but
See,
he
this
didn't.
is that
Your mother had
indoctrination.
you, and he decided that he did not want to leave her and make her a single
Fair
mother.
use.
He
Fair
wanted to
use.
marry her so they could raise you together. Now, you would think that she'll be happy about that, but she's probably one of these feminists that believe that men are not needed to raise kids. And then you have her followers up there instigating the situation. You see the comment up there? It says, "Go off. I'm here for it." Really? Here for this woman going in on her own father? I'm telling you, you definitely want to keep your family off TikTok. Keep your kids off
Hey,
that.
did you see that other
Now,
user's
I was
name?
surprised.
Higher
She
state of
started calling
mind.
her dad by his first name. She called him Jeremy. I don't know where you come from, but that's
See
disrespectful.
what I'm talking about, family?
Part 2 of this
See
series.
what I'm talking about?
My dad likes to say that me and my sister disappointed the family because we had children out of wedlock. Fun fact, I was born out of wedlock. All of
That
my
means you were a
siblings have
disappointment
Jeremy's last
too.
name. I do not. When I was 10 years old, Jeremy promised me. He was like, for your 10th birthday, I'm going to send in the paperwork and I'm going to give you my last name. He never did that. Then when I was 20 years old, I found out the reason that
You
he
realize
never
that
did that
a man can't
is
do
because
that without the
everyone thought I was
approval
some
of
other guy's kid.
the
My mom had
mother
been in
and
a
the father.
long-term on and off relationship with
That's
this guy,
true.
and everyone thought I was his kid. So now I don't know what to think. Maybe I am his kid. Maybe I'm not his kid. Who the fuck knows?
What in the Maury Povich is going on? If they have 6 kids and you're the only one with a different last name, and there's a rumor that somebody else may be your father, sounds like you need to talk to your mother, because it could be something that she's not telling you.
These
And
people-
this is a perfect example of why I believe all kids should have a paternity test at the hospital, no matter if they're married or not. Paternity should be confirmed and established at birth for every single child that's born. There is no reason why we should have grown people walking around talking about they're not sure whether or not someone is their biological dad. So it looks like your problem should be with your mother and not this man.
And I will be damned
This woman is
if he is going to
extremely
sit back
delusional.
and talk about my
She's got a
siblings the way
bull
that he has
nose
talked
in her
about me.
nose.
Like, it's one thing
Feminist,
for
doesn't know
me to be
about
the
real
scapegoat
life
of the
yet.
family and for him to tell me that I'm a disappointment, but the fact that my sister is
Fair
getting
use.
that same treatment, and the fact that because me and my sister won't kiss my dad's ass, we can't have a relationship with our brothers, boils my blood.
Hell no, he doesn't want
I
your
guess her
toxic
plan
fucking
is to
attitude
make
around
these
the other
videos,
kids.
act like she doesn't know what's going on, gain sympathy from others when she's fully aware of what she's doing. He's upset with both of them because both of them got pregnant out of wedlock. The sister recently followed in her footsteps and had a baby too. On top of that, she said, I think he's also mad that I taught my mom and sister to be independent, and that's not what he wanted.
These
So
individuals
not
don't
only
even know
is
what
she fighting
independent is.
patriarchy,
They heard
she's a
somebody
rebel
else
that's
say.
trying to turn the whole family against him. You're not going to be allowed to do that. You can't run his family.
My son has been asking to see his Uncle Caden and his Uncle Carl a lot lately, and those are my little brothers, but because my dad is the way that he is, I don't get to see them very consistently.
Let me show you one of my favorite things about money.com.
Well, stop being a dumb,
Instead of
fucking,
doing
ignorant,
this,
fucking, spoiled
you're
little
a
bitch, and maybe you would be able to.
I need you to
That.
you can just do this.
I'm still waiting to find out exactly what age she thinks it's appropriate to call her father out. I never reached that age.
You know what? I have a daughter like that too, my
I
oldest.
noticed.
With our
That's
intuitive
because
automations,
Did y'all
you
know
have
that
Monday
she never
CRM do
called father
almost anything.
about
With Monday CRM,
she
everything.
called her father by his first name?
Yeah,
She did.
my sister does that to our sperm donor. Even dude, I don't have no respect for my dad, and I still call him my dad. I don't refer to him by his first name. I mean, he
I
is
never
my dad.
called any of my family members,
I mean, that's
aunties and
different.
everything by their
I mean,
names.
that's different, man. If he was like a deadbeat and you try to, he has to earn it in every way. Yeah, like that's different. But
Well,
this
it isn't like we didn't know who he was.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this is not like some Joe Jackson type shit. Like, he told the kid he didn't want to be labeled as dad. This person.
Hey, look, man, my oldest daughter, she's like I said, she's 24. I think she might be 25. I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen her. I'm starting to forget now. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. But she's just like that girl right there, man. And I'm gonna tell you what, she never once, she acts like she's fucking all tough and big and bad, says the same kind of shit, but you want to know she's never done? Said any of that shit to my face. Ever. to my face. It's either been over the phone, through a text message, or fucking dropping off a letter and putting it in my mailbox when she knows I ain't home.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's always, but never to my face, because she knows, adult or not, I'll smack the shit out of her mouth. She talks to me like that.
Well, again, Angry Snowman, didn't I tell you? Well, you missed it. I was talking about the big scam that's at social media, and it's allowed individuals like this to come up here and actually talk to BS and be disrespected. Shout out to Latin Patriot in the building.
Yep, when in real
the family. Well, a lot of families out here, in my humble opinion, that's why I brought it up today, are ratchet themselves. I don't care if they're in the hood or in the suburbs.
Hey, you know what? 411, make bullying great again. That's the new slogan for 2022. Make bullying great again.
Yeah, facts. So
I say requirement force these boys, man. What's these boys to be through some martial art classes? That's mandatory.
Well, dude, that's why they need to allow bullying in school. This anti-bully campaign, that's playing into this shit too, man. They're telling kids that they can't do the natural social things that happen in life in order for people to find where they fit in the social pecking order. Bullying and all those things that kids go through that, cause them to have hurt feelings, be upset, be excited, have their emotions going back and forth like they're bipolar and shit. That's part of life. That's part of growing up. And that's part of finding out and understanding and learning who you are as a person. And these fucking quote unquote educators are actually literally they're taking that experience away from our kids. And that's why our kids are growing up so prematurely developed now mentally.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. First of all, most bullies are actually really be pussies. Like,
Right.
but the people that they're bullying are even more pussies. So, but they do need to go through that social hierarchy, and really is pretty much like societal gymnastics, right? Navigating through being a popular kid, not being popular, all of that stuff actually matters. Knowing that, hey, these are the rich kids at the school, or these are the emos and the jocks and all this stuff. The pecking order does matter. So just trying to act like anti-bullying, that's is really anti-development.
Right. And it's part of eugenics, dude. I swear it's part of the eugenics program.
Makes you stronger. Shout out to Clue Channel. And well, gentlemen and ladies, we've reached about the 3-hour and 20 mark. I'm going to shut this down.
Man, he's going to shut it down as the damn discussion starts getting good. What a piece.
Damn, 411, just when we heating up. God damn.
Right.
See, you can't trust family. You can't trust family, huh?
Dress him up and still can't take him out for dinner. Damn.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to leave. It's 3:15 in the morning. I've got to be up at 8.
Wow. Well, thank you for coming up to the panel, Jenny.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We'll have another hard-hitting one
Peace
next
out,
week.
Jenny.
Bye,
Thank
Jenny.
you.
Later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Looking for a T-shirt at a feed store, so you can please tell me what this means. Don't be a salty heifer. Latin Patriot. Lemon Pepper Wings 69. What about the kids that get bullied and commit suicide? Though, you know what? I think next week I'm gonna go into suicide too. There's a lot of that.
I don't want to sound heartless, okay, and I don't want to sound like I don't have that I don't understand. But unfortunately, that is a part of life as well. Some people just can't take the pressure. So you prevent that kid from committing suicide as a kid. What's to stop him when he's out on his own and he has the same pressure on him from the world's weight on top of him, and they're all alone and they still commit suicide?
Then it's not only that, also too. I think you alluded earlier with the discipline and stuff. You got some parents that just overdo it, get caught in the emotions and just overdo it and stuff. Say that to some kids that are bullying and everything. You either got a parent that's also bullying in a way, over disciplining them at home,
Yeah, that's
And he's going to do that in school, so that takes a big toll on that kid also too. There's no balance and stuff.
Right. I think there's too many people to focus on the negatives of things rather than focusing on the positives.
Exactly. And the flip side of that also too, you got a over passionate mom at home that that try to be so peaceful all the damn time, or that especially when you come raising sons, like you got to toughen this boy up. You got to toughen him up and stuff.
But a lot of those situations, the parents are not even around. I mean, they're around but not present. So they don't even see these signs. How many times do you hear, "Oh, I didn't know that he was hurting. He was living in your same house, but now the
Right.
kids slam doors, they lock doors, and it's like, unlock this door, and the kid is like, no, I'm not locking my door." So there's a lot of signs, but the parents are too busy trying to be friends, and that's why they don't recognize the sign. They're not investigating their kids. They're not. No one eats dinner at the table, so you
Right. I
can't
was
even
gonna
ask
say,
the kid how was his day, etc.
I was about to say, how many, when you're looking at the statistics of suicide, how many of these kids that are part of that statistic, how many of them actually came from families that were good families, sat down, had like Be Easy said, had dinner together at night, to where they were all talking about their day together, were engaged in each other's lives. You know what I'm saying? That
probably a low number.
It's probably I don't know, but because
I don't
never
have
thought about it, but I
data.
guarantee it's a low number. I guarantee it's a low number because
It is.
when you go back and you just look at some of these kids that commit suicide, and you just take a small glimpse into the surface of what their background was prior to that, it seems depressing on the surface. So imagine what it was like underneath the surface.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that we need to stop focusing so much on, like I said, the negative, as the potential for a negative outcome on things, and we need to start really sitting and focusing more so on the potential of the positive outcomes that might come from things. That's where we're at now. It seems like, where we have all these pseudo intellectuals that have convinced people to only see the potentially negative side effects of everything, and nobody wants to even entertain the idea of taking a look at what could potentially happen that would benefit society in a positive aspect.
Also known as fear mongering. Let's just say Angry Snowman was bullying me, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be bullied anymore. I developed enough confidence, the wherewithal to start working out, and I kick his ass. Like, I mean,
Right.
that could be construed as positive, positive results from the bullying.
Yeah, because it built you up. It gave you self-confidence, and not only that, it pushed you to want to make yourself a better person on a on a physical aspect. It gave you someone to challenge yourself to be better than. And I think everybody needs that. They need to challenge themselves to be better than people. And I'm not sitting and saying covet people or be envious of people. I'm saying you need those challenges. You need those people that, you set your sights on to say, nah, fuck that motherfucker. I'm going to be better than him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Exactly.
right. All right. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to close it out. And I want to get everybody's last words here. Good conversation. We're going to get into suicide and some others next week. Be around.
Yeah, we came up with a few topics. You gotta jot those down and revisit at another time. 411.
Yeah, we got it next. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Melly Mel.
What we ought to do is you need to have a panel, and we have a discussion between Gen Xers and Gen Zers.
That might not be a bad. Hey, but might
You
not
know,
be that.
Hey, you just skipped the whole generation, no millennials, huh?
well, see, millennials, they're in this weird. The millennials are in this like really weird category, man. Where, about half of the millennials get it, and then the other half are fucking as dumb as a box of rocks. Like most of these Gen Zers. But the reason why I say Gen X and Gen Z is because Gen Z is Gen X's kids.
That's facts. Facts.
Mhm.
So, but Melly Mel,
I agree.
let me have your closing statement, bro. And thank you for
me up, man. Short time span. I was driving home when I saw it earlier. So yeah.
Oh man, every Friday I was a half hour. Like normally it's 6:30. I said, oh okay, I started at 7. But good discussion.
Definitely, fellas. All right. See you next time, man. And have a good night.
All right, peace, my brother.
Later, Melly Mel.
Take care, brother.
Brother Angry Snowman, let me have your closing points and let me know. I know you've been on the high. Let me know when you're going to stream again, too, bro.
I've been thinking about doing one. I'm thinking about going live tonight, but I'm just going to have to check and see who else is live. You know what I'm saying? I really try not to step on other people's toes, but yeah,
That's why
I went on a 2-week hiatus, dude.
That's why I do it on Fridays, bro.
Everybody thought I like melted away or some shit, man. I was like, nah, I'm like that. You know that for as long as there's times that I'm around regularly, and then I'll be ghost for like a week, 2-3 weeks. You won't hear or see shit from me.
That's why I do it. But let me have your closing remarks from today's conversation, brother Angry Snowman.
Well, being that I only walked into what I walked into, I will say this.
Yes, sir.
I think people need to. I understand that with society and civilized society that we evolve and evolve with the times. But I was raised with the old adage that my grandpa always told me: if it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it. And there's some things that just weren't broke. The only thing that was broke was the same thing that was always broke: kids' pride, kids' willingness to want to buck their parents, kids' willingness to want to fucking do what the hell they want. Look, when I was a kid, I didn't make the mistake of looking at some grown ass adult and saying, "F you ain't my parent, don't put your hands on me," da 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 da. Because if I would have said that, my mom would have took me right back to their house and watched them beat the shit out of me, straight up. That I come from the era where the village really did raise all the kids. Everybody in town took part in raising everyone's kids because everyone's kids at one point or another was at everyone's house in town. And unfortunately, that's part of life. I think that it's sad that we live in this era now where we've allowed people to convince us as adults to chase after this quote unquote, American dream, which is a false dichotomy in and of itself. That's pushed people to think that, having that family vacation, putting in the hours for that family vacation, it's got to be better than, Tommy's down the road that he took his family on. Or, have the 2 brand new cars sitting in their front drive because, Karen and Dave down the street, they just got 2 new cars last year. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta one up them. Us thinking that, our social status as far in our community being more important and being expressed through wealth and things being more important than actually having a real family, a real community with real morals and real values. We're chasing after the wrong things. And we've let them convince us to chase after the wrong things. I mean, that's why we're in this era now where everybody's always chasing paper. That's all you hear. Why aren't people chasing futures? Why aren't people chasing careers? Why aren't people chasing building a fucking family and a legacy with each other? Why aren't those the goals that people are chasing? Why is being alone and chasing after this arbitrary piece of paper that has no value other than the value we give it more important than people? Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, to interact and go through a social experiment with people. We're basically stuff walking around, spending our whole life touching other stuff until we die. But we're more worried about going out and seeing how people perceive us on a financial or a social ladder rather than a moral and a spiritual and a human level. I think we've lost something along the way. We're all guilty of it happening. I hope that people just start to wake up to this. I guess that's all I got to say.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thank you for coming in the panel. Yeah, I started a little late tonight. Normally I do it at 6:30, did it at 7. Hey, come on through next week, bro. Your presence is always welcome here.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, always.
Yeah, I try to balance out the smart ass fuckery shit that's always coming out my mouth with,
hey,
with real world, experience, I guess. I'm
Well,
not
that's why
always a
I have
smart
here. That's
ass.
why I didn't do anything on what everybody else is doing. I don't do the
Oh
trending
my
topic.
god, dude, that broke the fucking internet. It broke the manosphere. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody is coming unglued over some stupid shit.
stupid stuff. And I wasn't going to do that, and I wasn't going to do the Pookie and Ray. No, we here we do real issues.
Hey, 411, you want to hear something interesting though?
Yes,
I was
sir.
gone for 2 weeks. The first day I get back on YouTube, like get on YouTube, because you know what I mean by you're on YouTube. You're checking out all your dudes and all your enemies and yada yada yada, hitting their panels, to see what they're talking about. I get
Yes.
on, I see in my suggestions. What do I see? The first thumbnail, BMT with my picture as the thumbnail.
Oh wow. Yeah. Wow.
Well, fucker, man, just won't let shit go.
No, they won't.
Dude, I think he misses me. I think he has like a man crush on me or some shit. I'm starting to get scared, dude. I really am. It's starting to trouble me because I don't swing that way. You know what I'm saying? I like boobies and big butts.
I hear that, bro. Well,
But I'm gonna get out of here, dude. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it, man. As always, be easy, dude. It was great talking to you, brother. I always enjoy
Yeah,
having.
likewise, bro.
Hey, dude, you're gonna have to come over to my channel and chop it up sometime, dude, because
Yeah, how will I find it?
it's
Like,
the
what do I
angry.
type in?
It's the angry snowman. That's all you type in the search bar.
hey, let us know when you're streaming, man. We'll come. Hey, if you stream tomorrow, let us know. I mean, because Nate hadn't been coming up too much a lot, so let us know so we'll come on over.
Well, like I said, I may stream tonight. I'll probably stream tonight, tomorrow for sure. But I am thinking about streaming tonight, man. Doing a late stream. Because look, dude, I've been wanting to go over that shit because there was some stuff that was said that were just blatant lies, and that's something that I seriously take issue with. Is people that lie. I hate liars. I can't stand liars.
Yeah, but let me know if you definitely streaming tomorrow. We'll be there.
But yeah, I'll hop off here and I'll jump out in the chat and I'll put my link to my channel out there in the chat. That way you can come subscribe and check me out if you want. Easy.
Yeah, come check them out.
Yeah, no, I definitely will, bro. We gotta build some bigger than just a black or white manosphere type thing. So yeah, I'm definitely a supporter.
Bro, dude, that's what I was doing with the original channel. My original channel, the Trailer Hood Voodoo Ninja channel, I was almost to 1,000 subs, and you can ask Clue and Jenny and 411. I actually had a channel where that's what was happening, is something bigger than white and black was being built. I was having people from all cultures, all over the world, different backgrounds. There was poor people talking to intellectuals, like actual teachers that had like doctorates in education and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need, is people talking again.
That's more impactful than you know what I'm saying, whatever the trending topic is. That's what actually propels society forward. All of this other stuff does is just make a specific content creator some extra revenue, but it doesn't move the needle for society in any way.
It's a distraction from reality. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here, man. Thank you. Talk to you later,
brother. Thank you for coming up.
Yep.
Brother, be easy. You got the final word of the day. You started off with me, you end up with me.
Yeah, man, I had to, bro. I always, man, I take great pleasure in doing these streams with you. You one of the few people that, like I said, it's an intelligent brother. You know what I'm saying? You give astute assertions on whatever topic that we're discussing, but the main thing is where you derive these topics from. You know what I'm saying? From that powerful mind of yours to think that, you know what, I'm not going to go with just whatever the hot, trending, dramatic, theatric topic is. And shout out to the panel. Jenny, she came up, she gave some great insight, from her female perspective, and being someone from outside the states. Angry Snowman, I've done several streams with him actually on different platforms. He always brings the heat, so shout out Angry Snowman. Mel was here briefly. I believe that was the gentleman's name.
Yeah, that
right
was
on
Mel.
for coming up.
Up there. Yep.
Okay, yeah, shout out to Mel. And then back to my man 411, bro. You be bringing these topics, bro, that it's like it's actually really powerful, right? These other topics that other people talk about, I will admit they are entertaining, right?
They're
But
entertaining.
we've been entertained enough, bro. We're too much of a good thing is never a good thing. So if we're getting too much entertainment, where is the education? Where is the enlightenment? Where is the progression? Where is the prosperity? And yeah, it may be happening for some, but we're talking about collectively as a unit that transcends the black manosphere, the white manosphere, that transcends Wakanda and white Wakanda, right? Because ultimately, us men is getting attacked on all fronts, right? So, I
Absolutely.
mean, we need all the help we can get to battle these toxic feminists. But if we really believe what we say we believe in, then I'm about building a foundation with people that want to build, right? And for me, that transcends color and even gender too, right? Because I be hearing some of these dudes belly aching and bickering and stuff, and then you got someone like Jenny to come up here, and give a very respect. So what, should we just be bashing her? Get out of the manosphere. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like some of these dudes, I'm like, damn, do y'all dudes even like women? Because y'all just over here crying up every stream you're crying about a woman, but then you want a woman. Like, I mean, how do you want a chick but you sounding like a chick? So that's a whole separate stream right there. But let me just, so I could get you out of here, let me do a quick rapid fire of, earlier we were talking about scams. So they
Yes, sir.
saying the top 10 scams: debt collection, we covered that.
Yep.
Fake government officials, they'll hit you up from IRS, FBI, identity theft, and phishing and farming. That's when they say, hey, log into the PayPal or this account, and then they get your account. Phone scams, we talked
Yep.
about that, which is the robocalls. Loan scams and credit fixers. Hey, I'll fix your credit and stuff. You got to give them all of your information in order for them to fix your credit, your address, your social, etc. So also fake prizes, sweepstakes, free gifts, and lottery scams. There's
Medicaid
internet
scam.
merchant. What was that?
Medicaid scams.
Oh
Medicare.
yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah, there's internet merchandise scams, automobile related complaints. Uh, it also says fake check payments, recovery refund companies, computer performance scams. When they say, oh, your computer is running slow, and then you download something and it's a virus that makes it run slow, and now you got to input your information for it to run better. Online dating scams, we definitely covered that.
We covered a
Uh,
whole hell of a lot of them.
yeah, there's clickbait scam, fake bills and invoices, medical alert scam, cat. I mean, Affordable Care Act scam, text messages, and there's actually more. So as much as we covered, people still need to be more vigilant with the scams, not only for you, but maybe for your spouse, maybe for your mom. Because, like Jenny talked about, her mom was 84, and sometimes she's signing up for this type of stuff. So, we definitely need to be more vigilant and more careful, more purposeful when we're dealing with all of this credit card stuff.
And we can
And
cover
then
some of
also,
that too. Like yeah, bring some, because I know I'm going to discover some more stuff this week. So
oh,
I'll
exactly. Yeah. And I think I got your email. So I'm going to go ahead and send the resources over there. And
I
then, we
appreciate it,
can,
bro.
yeah, we can correspond that way. Because I mean, this is, I mean, we are really genuinely supposed to be like helping each other, right? Like, this is the church. Is not the institution where it's asking you, hey, you got to give the offering. The church was always about the people, right? And I'm not an overly religious person, but I do believe people should be believing in a purpose and an entity bigger than them. That's up to you to determine what that entity is. And I will say that in regards of the social media, right? Too many people are living in, I call it well, there's Peter Pan syndrome, but I call it, people are living in a perpetual high school popularity contest, right? There's a lot of people that were geeks in high school, and now they want to prove that I'm still not that geek. Or there were some people that are popular in high school, and they want to prove that I'm still that popular person from high school. So they're doing all of these things on social media to show off their house, to even show off their kids, right? People are treating their kids as pawns and trophies and showing them off as if it's a new accessory. But you're just opening it up to a bunch of sick weirdos that's, probably circle jerking to your kid's picture that you didn't even need to expose like that, right? And then people used to eat at dinner and enjoy the conversation with you. Now you look at people eating dinner and everybody is on their phone. One hand is scooping up some Alfredo, the other hand is sending the text message. Right? We have to get away from that. This social media, it is a very powerful and effective tool, but it could also be an extremely addicting and corruptive drug and device. It's all on how you use it. It's like a nuclear weapon. A nuclear weapon can be used to save and liberate a country, or it can be used to obliterate a country. It's the same weapon, but it's in how it's used, right? And I'll save the rest of the stuff that I got for the next stream because this was pretty great stream. I don't want to keep you up too much because it's only 7:37 here. I can
It's
rock
about
all night.
10:37 here, and Angry Snowman. When you give me your, send me an email. I'll send you Angry Snowman's email. Yes, he says there are more.
Yeah, we gotta get that chain too, because let's just say YouTube or any other platform did try to shut us down. If
Right.
what we're truly trying to build is gonna transcend the internet, then we need multiple platforms and outlets to contact each other. You know what I'm saying? Emails, numbers, etc. So that way, if they did shut us down, or another channel, like Brother Nate's or anyone, hey, well, you start a new channel and I'm a sub to that one, right? You
That's it.
know,
And look
yeah,
out, Nate might be streaming tomorrow too. Look out for him. He might be streaming.
okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out.
But again, brother, hey, thank you for coming up. I appreciate your input, good input, and come around next Friday. And there are times if I get a little bit busy on a Friday, I will stream on Saturday myself earlier during the day or mid afternoon. And but I'll put it out. Check my community tab out on my YouTube channel.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming up, and just have a wonderful and gracious day. And peace, my brother.
Thank you. Peace out.
Well, another enlightening stream tonight. Talked about scams. Talked about everything that we could put up on the panel tonight. Families. This is what I talk about here on my channel. Shout out to the panel. And before I go, I'm going to get the final poll here. Should you hire family and friends if you have your own business? Out of 19 votes, 42% said yes, 58% said no. And again, here on this channel, I'm all about giving you the information that is going to be needed to help you survive in the real world. Real world is a very tough place. And when I capture something, I'm going to make sure that you know about it, just like we talked about the different types of scams, families, education. What we're going through now is a shift in, I don't want to use the word morality, and we continue to go down the drain when it comes to culture. It's my job to make sure I keep people up on the latest news and current events of what's going on in the world, because since we're not millionaires and billionaires, we're always affected politically, socially, with religion, education. It all affects us. You have people in power who want to basically keep us enslaved with their policies. But I'm going to continue to inform my audience about what's going on here in the real world. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Didn't receive any cash apps tonight. That's okay. But you can always donate, whether I'm broadcasting or whether I am not broadcasting. Also, you can check out another educational channel that I have, formerly called the Mind the STEM. It's called the QCIS channel. That's named after my business, Quality Control Inspections Services. On that channel, you're going to continue to get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. I go into subjects like statistics, entomology, chemistry, and industrial engineering. And if you can't find me on YouTube, you can check me out when it comes to the 401 Talk Zone radio show on Twitter. And when it comes to the QCIS channel, you can check me out on Twitter and, of course, LinkedIn. And I am working on integrating the live stream with Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to see how that works. I have to test it out. I have some new equipment, new microphones. Want to set that up as soon as I finish working on the office. So there are big plans that I have for the 401 Talk Zone radio show channel and, of course, the QCIS channel. But at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who are offended by some of this commentary, I'm going to tell you this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.